It's a blood clot vibes. Yes, family, large up yourself, big up yourself. It's your hostess with the mostest. Select the Sila Shalom 101 and 2s. What? You know how we do. Family. Let me run it from the top here. Let me get some drink real quick. It's a blood clot vibes, yes, family. It's a vibes. Yeah, it was good, family. Decided to hop on for a little second, you know what I mean? Had some free time to jump on. Peace to the Creative Gang chiming in. Where's it? Tikva, where's it? Messiah, Deshaun, I see you. Lion of y'all, Messiah, where's it? See the family chiming in. Dig. Yeah. It's a blood clot vibes. Yeah, peace to the fam, just chiming in, you know what I'm saying? Decided to jump online, running around town with the pound strap down on my side, no fronting just in case I gotta smoke some. Yes, you know, we roll up the big Sensimilia. You know what I mean? Rastaman vibes. You don't know how the Hydra and them do. What's going on with the fam? I see y'all chiming in. See ya. See the yos coming in. Fritz, I see you coming in. I see the gods coming in and the goddesses coming in. You know what I mean? Just want to hop on for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Man, if I roll up a spliff thing, quick, yeah? Yeah, man. I wasn't able to get everything I wanted to get out because, you know, we was restricted to 10 minutes. So, you know, I'm slow a little bit down right now. You know what I mean? And, you know, we corrected the failed attempt of Zion Lex trying to discredit John Newbro with Fort Sumter. You know what I mean? He quoted a passage that was incomplete. He didn't source his source correctly. And we're going to show that quickly. You know what I mean? But we're going to let the rhythm run slow, quick fire. Anybody want to jump on? Could jump on too, you know? Let me put a link out there. Anybody want to jump on while man, if I roll them spliffer thing, yeah? Why roll them spliffer thing? Well, check this out, right? Let me go ahead and get to the nitty gritty. You know, over here, when you're a real dude, you can spot imposters. You can spot fake niggas. Niggas who claim to be real, but then you got a real nigga that spot that motherfucker is fake. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, man. These dudes, you know, you got some cats that'll go to the extreme just to make a point. Whoever gave him that sauce about Fort Sumter did a poor job. This is what the nigga posted right here, fam. Right, 11 hours ago. The author of the Oahspe Bible on Black African people being degenerate and slavery being divine inspiration. Now, I'll let them niggas hang themselves when the question was raised. Because I knew the stupidity and the ego and the self-stroking was going to kick in when they thought they had something. So this is what he referenced. Oahspe Bible has been canceled. Here's the book that John Bilal Nubro wrote, Fort Sumter. He think we don't know this shit. And this is the passage he tried to use that to try to credit John Bilal Nubro of saying, the primeval conditions of the black man, the stigma the Creator put upon him when he slew Abel, have I so set down that all parties cannot but see the wisdom of the all-wise ruler of the universe in giving them over into eternal bondage to the white man. Now this is what he got highlighted. This is what he's saying John Newbro was saying, but he didn't source his source correctly, right? So it says, I have shown the glory of God in the elevation of the white man, whose trumpet has been the only tribute to civilization, religion, and liberty. I have here pictured this same white man in his glory and ease seeking out the degenerated African and bringing him over here and teach him to toil, right? And to behold the beauty of Christianity, I have shown how the black man is to be enlightened. Now, here's the stupidity, because first of all, Oahspe John Newbro exposes Christianity. You see that? He exposes this Christianity in the Oahspe, right? Although this is pre-Oahspe, but let's show the foolishness, because he think this is the words of John Newbro, right? Let's finish though. I have shown how the black man is to be enlightened and how by doing the drudgery of life, he gives the white man time and liberty to assert the laws of God. In fact, I have so explained the degradation of labor that even the men in the free state must acknowledge the blessings of our divine institution of slavery. Now, this dum-dum said that John Newbro wrote this, and then he puts a picture of Newbro. But what this dum-dum failed to realize, that when you look at this page, when you go to this page right here and below, this is what the dum-dum forgot to read, y'all. This is what I put up. This is the same book, and this is the page below what he didn't read. And what it says, I have here a letter from Bishop Hawkins, and here a sermon from Boyden of Hopedale, Virginia, on the epidemic of the 19th century the symptoms for enslavement. This dum-dum didn't even realize that this is not the words of John Bilal Nubro, but a letter from Bishop Hawkins. Now let's look up Bishop Hawkins to show you what he looks like. Bam! This is the guy who quoted what the dum-dum said he was quoting from. Let me pull it back. This guy right here. This is the quote that he was reading from, that he ignorantly tried to patch for John Nubro. See that? This nigga's supposed to be a scholar and a researcher, and he ain't do his scholarship nor his research correctly. This is the guy who made that quote right here. So when he was reading this, talking about the divine enslavement of Africans, it wasn't even John Bilal Nubro, it was this guy, dum-dum. What did it say right here again? What did it say? I have a letter from Bishop Hawkins. This is the bishop, and that's who was speaking in that letter. Let me put in Bishop Hawkins to show how foolish he sounds. See that? This is the nigga who we talking about right here. This is Bishop Hawkins. This is the nigga who was quoting about Africans being in divine slavery under white men. It was this guy, not John Bilal Nubro, as he tried to falsely assumed. See, he gonna read you this part right here. He reads you this part, but on this page, around right here, is where this is found. This passage is on this page right below this, right here. Right before you get up to this page, right here is where you're going to find this passage. I have a letter from Bishop Hawkins, and here a sermon. So what you're reading is the letter from the sermon of Bishop Hawkins, this guy, not John Bilal Nubro. So the nigga cut himself severely, but I'll let it ride so he could hang himself. Because you got to let these niggas show how stupid they sound sometimes when they try to, claiming they're making a point in a very poor attempt to sound right. Nigga, you fell on your own sword. Cosmo, hop in the chat. Who will hop in the chat, yo? I put the link in there. There's man for bust a roll a spliffer thing. Somebody hop on. I'll let me. My righteous brothers, Cosmo, Cal, and Lucci. Peace to the righteous brothers. What's going on with y'all boys?
What's going on? Peace.
What's good, family, man?
I just had to quickly expose that foolishness that he tried to run. But see, sometimes you got to let niggas hang themselves because he thought he had something and he was stroking his ego.
Yeah. Hey, you know what?
Ahead,
I gotta give a shout out to God Killer, man. I gotta give a shout out to the brother Uncle Ket, man, for the simple fact he says something that is so true. He says pseudos die by their own sources.
Right.
See, what he didn't know is we already read the book. We already knew what it said. Right? So he thought he was bringing something out, and he was just ignorantly speaking about a book that he had never actually read. So that means you have no integrity.
Exactly. And he did the same thing Neftali did when she pulled out the source on Mally. Was like, see, I have a source. See, they boasted about the book, but you don't even know what's in the book.
Right. And then lied about what's in the book, saying that is quoted to JBN, and he thought slavery was okay. You're a liar.
Exactly.
You did what I'm talking about.
When you go on Sunday to expose the rumors, I want you to bring that out first and foremost. Expose that.
Yeah, for sure. You did what I'm talking about. He deserved it. You did what I'm talking about. And to you not being solid, man. You not being 100.
No.
You can't be no teacher. You're not no more.
Them niggas is exposed, bro. The niggas is see. I'm gonna do a joint, you know, exposing that Hebrew language. You know what I mean? Because they speaking like, what did you say? They speaking a colonizer language.
They speaking the colonizers' language. Yeah, not
if
one.
The Proto-Semitic script comes from the Canaanite is Hamitic, and the Hamitic niggas had you niggas in slavery.
Right.
That says it all right.
Listen, not one Israelite spoke Hebrew ever. Not one. Not Abram, not Moses, not Yeshua. None of them spoke Hebrew.
They adopted that shit.
Yeah, them not Israelites. If you was in captivity, if you was in a kingdom, if you went to war, if you praised David, Saul, Solomon, you're not a fucking Israelite. Let it sink in. You did everything opposite of what the Israelites. You were even in the opposite place where the Israelites were. Because the real Israelites went west out of Egypt. Y'all niggas went east. Who the fuck are you?
Lucy,
right?
What's good? Facts, Cosmon.
Yo, not to be funny though. Yo, you ever rolled a blunt and then lost it?
Bro, plenty of times.
You was already gone. You listen, you saved yourself not smoking that one.
I'm over here, y'all talk. I'm over here looking for it. I'm like, I just rolled that John. Like,
yeah, I done rolled up an L, hit it a couple times, put it down, and 2 days later, I done find this motherfucker over there curled up. Like, hold up, what the fuck you doing here?
Man, I done found some bags 6-7 months old, man.
Hey.
These things fire too. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, facts.
As I like my splipper ting.
So my whole thing is though.
Check this shit out. Hold on, we goddamn put up that round 2 clip when the niggas talking about the black man being the first slave owner. See, them niggas ain't addressed the real points.
Oh, you brought that up in the debate?
Man, that round 2 devastated the nigga. That's what shook his foundation. Let me show you. When I showed this shit right here, first slave owner in America was not only a black man, he went to courts and demanded it. So this shit is on record.
Yep, Anthony Johnson.
In 1654, it was time for Anthony to release John Kaser, a black indentured servant. Instead, Anthony told Kaser he was extending his time. Kaser left and became employed by the free white man Robert Parker. Anthony Johnson sued Robert Parker in the Northampton court in 1654. In 1655, the court ruled that Anthony Johnson could hold John Kaser indefinitely. The court gave judicial sanctions for blacks to own a slave of their own race. Thus, Kaser became the first permanent slave and Johnson the first slave owner. Nigga, how you gonna overlook that? When we talking about the white man being a slavery and a colonizer, we showed you that your brother Judah was colonizing back then, your own brother in the Bible. Then we bring it up to today and show you niggas doing the same thing. So how you gonna reference anything about the colonizer when you niggas is colonizing yourselves? And look at this one, it gets worse. Look at this one.
Yeah.
My Nigerian grandfather sold slaves. Where the link? Let me hit this link. See, the 10 minutes was too fast. That's why I say which we was referencing with Mally and Kaz talking earlier about presentation versus presentation would be a better scenario, because that you could fully lay out your premise and not be rushing. My Nigerian grandfather sold slaves. Aimed the global debate about race relations, colonization, and slavery, some of the Europeans and Americans who made their fortune in trading human beings have been their legacy reassisted, their status toppled, and their names removed from public buildings. Nigerian journalist and novelist Adodi Tresa Nuwabian writes that one of her ancestors sold slaves, but argued that he should not be judged by today's standards of value. My great-grandfather, Nwambana Ogogo Oraku, was what I prefer to call a businessman from the Igbo ethnic group of southeastern Nigeria. He dealt in a number of goods, including tobacco and palms produce. He also sold human beings. He had agents who captured slaves from different places and brought them to him, my father told me. See that? The nigga is over here capturing his own people and enslaving them. I just heard somebody else pop on. Hold on.
What, in Africa? Nigeria?
Yeah, this is Nigeria.
Yes, because when Europeans came, they only came to the coast and they stayed on the coast.
Case in point. Now, this is evidence to show you that these niggas was catching their own people from the coast. From the interior, bringing them to the coast. Nwabo Ugogo slaves were sold through the ports of Calabar and Bani in the south of what is today known as Nigeria. People from ethnic groups along the coast, such as the Ifke and the Ijar, however you pronounce it, usually acted as stevedores for the white merchants and as middlemen for the Igbo traders, like my great-grandfather. Come on, man. Do I need to read more?
You don't want to deal with it. A European back then, bro, they would have had more of a chance of catching malaria than they were to catch a slave if they would have entered the interior of Africa. And when they even went to Africa, they went to the coast, they went there for gold and other commodities. They didn't go there for slaves initially. They found out they had slaves. The African empires offered that. And another thing you got to think about.
Go ahead, Ken. No, go ahead.
Another thing you got to think about, right? When Zion or anybody says that, Zion, I guess he watches Roots too much. That's probably the problem. And Alex Haley's already went on record to say that shit, when he got questioned about that shit, he admitted that he wanted to give his people a myth to live by. So that shit that you see in Roots, I never seen that shit. But whatever you see in that gives you that impression that Europeans came in and stole African slaves, that's bullshit. Because by you saying that, right, whoever says that, you're implying that West African empires were weak. The Europeans came in, ran down on their land, ran down on them, and took their slaves. Exactly. That's what you're implying.
Exactly. Facts.
No, yeah, and that's exactly the opposite of what happened. First of all, the Europeans never entered the inner parts of. They only dealt on the coast. So they dealt with tribes like the Jula, like the Igbo. You dig what I'm talking about? Who sold slaves? You dig what I'm talking about? But there's also an assumption being made, right? That the people who are being enslaved in Africa are black. See, they are, as soon as you say, oh, the African slave trade, they instantly think that these are black people getting enslaved.
Hey, you want me to pull it up?
All you got to do is pull up African. The only people on the whole continent who call themselves African are white Dutch men. Now, if they were, from the earliest times, we know at least 1600s AD, and even back in the times of Carthage, they spoke about a pale Afri people living in northern Africa near Tunisia. So we see a pale Afri people speaking the Afri language today.
Now, for y'all, y'all may be thinking Cosmo talking left field right now, right? Because he said the Africans are white and all that, right? So let's see.
No, he is. What I'm saying, let me explain.
Go ahead, Ken.
Soon as you say Africa, the only thing people think of is so-called black people in slavery. They don't know that in Africa, it has the most genetic diversity in the world. So if y'all trying to push upon us that
you was talking about the Africans, because like you say in Africa, they don't call themselves Africans. You either Nigerian, you either from the Congo. We classify the Africans as Africans.
Facts.
But
they don't know nothing about no Africa.
But you showed and proved who the Africans are today.
Facts.
Can I
who
show
they've always been. Listen, what I'm saying is none of the kings of Egypt called themselves African. None of them. None of the kings of the Congo called themselves African.
Watch
None
this.
of the
Yo, Cosmon, read that what's on the screen. That first sentence.
Blow it up just a little bit, bro.
I did.
Let me see.
Well, I'll read it. I'll read it since you're probably on your phone. What does that say? Afrikaans.
Okay.
What does it say about the Afrikaans? Is a West Germanic language that evolved in the Dutch Cape Colony from the Dutch vernacular.
Of Holland proper.
These are the Afrikaans, right?
These are the Africans. And the only speak. Look.
The Dutch. I mean, they came in the South Africa. But how do they look?
Yeah. Did you see what that said?
Look what the Dutch. This is standard Dutch used in 1916 South Africa newspaper before Africans replaced it for use in media.
Go back up. Right there. You see what you see what that says? It says the Huguenot. So not only were they French and not only were they Dutch, they were also French. Meaning what Huguenot means is it means converso. These people were converso Jews or crypto Jews and crypto Islamic Moors in Europe.
Facts. But these niggas is claiming to be Afrikaans.
They are Africans. They're the only one. It make more sense. It make more sense, especially if you a hating ass motherfucker. You dig what I'm talking about? That these pale people who would have been there lived by the sea in the cavey, rocky regions, right where they're found in northern Africa, by the Atlas Mountains, and in South Africa.
Look at that. Afrikaans language is called Cape Dutch, West Germanic language of South Africa. These niggas done took the shit. They done claimed the name.
They the only people in the world who identify themselves as African. If you want to see an African American, look up Elon Musk. That is an African American. If you want to see an African American, look up Charlize Theron. That is an African American. Now look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, are you the same thing? It make more sense. It make more sense if the black African nations sold white people, sold white Africans. That's who was on them boats. Can't nobody prove that nobody brown got off them boats. It don't tell you what color they is. But we know Africans got off them boats. Do it make most sense that the Ifa would enslave their own and then sell them? Or do it make more sense that they would enslave Africans and sell them to the Islamics coming across the Sahel, or to the Europeans who are black and white coming from Europe? How do you think they even cut deals with them? The Europeans were black too.
Jacobites.
You think the white boys just rolled up on them? What's up, Mbutu? Let me get 100 of you niggas. I got some rum and some gunpowder for you hoe ass
See,
niggas.
the thing is that if niggas gonna keep playing the race card, we just gonna keep showing genocide among black on black. It's genocide among every nation, among the young
Every
people.
nation, man.
So for them to
Get
still be
over it.
vibrating on a low level frequency, I see niggas is about to get called out because it's like y'all niggas so mad about the white man for slavery, the colonizer. Nigga, it was fair games when niggas came off their boats. If that was the case, that was the best time to fuck up the cracker when they came off them boats. The nigga, we here, nigga, let's take this bitch over. But what happened? Niggas folded up. They said,
why you ain't do no fighting?
Yeah.
Why you ain't do no fighting till you got here to America, till you got around some Indians?
Yeah, why complain now? Your forefathers fucked it up. They the ones is why we in the conditions if that's the case. And if you niggas ain't gonna rise up and do nothing now, shit your ass down.
Yeah, shut the fuck up, yo. We got work to do.
Yeah.
You know, all that crying, man.
What's good? What's on your mind? Hold up.
It's insincere, man. It's just insincere, man. Everybody in our family, all our families, especially if you so-called call yourself black, you got every shade of person in your family.
Facts.
Every shade. And for real, when did we start doing colorism in the United States? Huh? Your grandmama was light skinned with freckles. I know mine was red hair with light skin, red with freckles. That's a white girl now? Are you kidding me? She was loose. She was Louis color with freckles. That's my grandmother.
I got cousins that look just like Lucci. I'm talking about first cousins, not second
Come on,
or third.
man.
First cousins.
Stop the shit. Nobody
can.
can.
My first cousins on my on one of my uncles. I got two uncles. One married an Italian woman, and then one married a regular Caucasian. If you see that kid, you would think they related to me, nigga. That's my first cousin.
Man, listen, I got nieces and nephews that's Chinese. Flat out. White, all that stuff. It's all in there. Get over it. Right. Get over this shit.
Man, when slaves were emancipated over here in the States, they were still selling Turks and shit over there in North Africa and shit.
Louis, we all mutts, and they just don't want to admit it. Ain't nobody no fucking 100% goddamn African. You ain't no motherfucking pure la raza. You know what I mean? You ain't, your shit is fucked up just like everybody else's. You a mutt. You know what I mean? So I hate when these motherfuckers, man, be bringing it out like they really doing something when really you just exposing your low vibratory state.
That's all you doing, because God got them on a low vibratory state. They God in one breath say, thinking carnal, thinking that they're the chosen, but then in another breath, God say he's not a respecter of person, and the flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom.
But they got slavery in their Bible. So at the end of the day, why even complain about slavery if you got slavery in your Bible being promoted?
What's
not only that?
You want me to bring it up, Louis? The slavery verses.
Hey, hold on, Lou. Ain't it Deuteronomy 68:28? That it's their God. It's the biblical God who is altering chattel slavery in America. Ain't that the curse?
Exactly. And if that's the case, why they mad at the white man if God is doing the will? If the white man doing the will of God, if he put niggas in slavery, then ain't that the will of God according to their Bible?
Shit, he tell you to praise him and be a good slave.
And he cursing niggas. They got out here cursing niggas. Jaja ain't cursing niggas. True God ain't out here cursing niggas.
So wait a minute. If you did slavery, you did black codes. If you did black codes, you did Jim Crow. You did disenfranchisement. You did the Racial Integrity Act. You did crack. You did the school to prison pipeline. You did child trafficking. You did heroin. This is all on the back of their gods. This is what they say their God is cursing us with. And this is the guy you want to praise? I'm straight.
Exactly. Them niggas in a bind because they feel that that's all they got.
No, it ain't that. They scared, Selah.
Yeah,
Remember that
right.
God say, fear me.
Facts.
First,
Yeah.
nigga, don't even learn my name. Don't love me. Don't look for me. Don't call. Don't do nothing. Fear. And then he tell you that's the way to higher knowledge. Fear. But when you really get into the real spiritual knowledge, fear is the great blocker. It stops you from doing everything.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps you stagnant.
Exactly. Facts.
Fear is what stops you from astral traveling. Took me years to figure that out.
Yo, check this out, right? I found the typewriter that John Newbro would have been using and shit. Let me share that real quick.
Listen, that thing is ancient.
Yeah, check this out.
Look at that.
This is when John Newbro, this is part of John Newbro's confession. He says, then a new condition of control came upon my hand. Instead of the angels holding my hands as formerly, they held their hands over my head, and they were clothed with sufficient materiality for me to see them. And a light fell upon my hand as they lay on the table. In the meantime, I had attained to hear audible angel voices near me. I was directed to get a typewriter which writes by keys like a piano. All right, that's the key. With keys like a piano. And here we have the model right here to the left. This is the blueprint. To the right is the actual computer. I mean the typewriter. But check this out. Patent image from 1868 for the typewriter. 2 words. Hyphenated. The first practical writing machine was the Scholes and Glidden, invented in 1868 by Christopher Lawton Scholes, Carlos Glidden, and Samuel W. Soule. The machine was first sold in 1874. It was they who also gave us the QWERTY keyboard and the word typewriter. And this is what they're referring to. When you look at the typewriter, the top letters right here is what they're referring to when they say the QWERTY. Keyboard layout, where the first line is these words right here on the typewriter. That's what they're referring to. QWERTY is a keyboard layout for Latin script alphabets. The name comes from the order of the first 6 keys on the top left letter row of the keyboard. The QWERTY design is based on a layout created for the Scholes and Glides typewriter and sold to E. Remington and Sons in 1873. It became popular with the success of the Remington No. 2 of 1878 and remains in whatever that say.
Ubiquitous.
Ubiquitous. Yeah. All right. So these are the 2 cats who invented the typewriter. Right. This is the brand of typewriter that John Newbro was using. And these niggas is the one who created it. So all that shit these niggas talking. Niggas type on the
And look at that damn thing, man.
Yeah. And it said,
That's a dinosaur.
It said type like a keyboard, like a piano. Right there. See, it look like a piano.
Yeah.
And then it says what? Get a typewriter which writes by keys like a piano. And here you see the model right here.
Dang.
That's heavy. And John Newbro might know how to write this shit. Look,
man.
it said the first model was sold in 1874. You're talking a couple years before John Newbro. So he wouldn't even been savvy on how to type. And then imagine how much this would have cost. That's like the new Bentley coming out 6 years ago. Ain't no nigga about to hop out and buy the Bentley that came out 6 years ago. Ain't no nigga about to hop out and buy a Bentley that came out 6 years ago. You got to have some cape. So the nigga had to been playing with some paper to purchase a typewriter. that just came out. I heard somebody else hop in. Let me see. Peace. What's good, fam?
What's up, man? What up? What up?
How you, brother?
Pretty good. I didn't get a chance to see the debate with you and Zion Lex. I heard it. What's the name? Zaryak got backed out or whatever. All right.
Yeah. So I got back there. You can speak a little louder.
Huh?
You can speak a little louder or raise the volume up.
Yeah, let me raise it up some. Yeah.
So what you got to share with us?
All right, check this out, man. I want y'all to. I'm quite sure you heard of Walter Williams, right, from Chicago.
Oh yeah, Walter Williams, the historical origins of Christianity, historical origins of Islam. Yeah, most definitely. Yes, sir.
Yeah. I just got done reading these joints. I'm reading them over again right now.
You talking about the Serapis, how Serapis was created and all that? Hell yeah.
Yeah. And it wasn't about white folks. It was about black people.
Facts.
So once again, you can't blame white folks. It was the ancient Egyptian Coptics who made that image.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And they were the ones. And from Serapis came Jesus Christ. So you can't blame the white man with some black Negro sellouts back in antiquity. Now, whenever we ask the Hebrews who authorized the Bible, they say it was King James got these scholars, but they never gave you the names. Now, what I'm about to show you right now, where this is a death blow right here. This is proof to show you that the white man wrote that book. All right. So pull up on Wikipedia right now. See, like, go to type in a guy name. His name is there's two guys who authorized that book.
So you talking about Bancroft?
Nah. Nah, they're gonna tell you clear as day that they wrote it.
All right, what's the name? When you get the name, let me know so I can type it in.
All right, his name is one guy name is Lancelot Andrews.
Lancelot
Andrews.
How you spell it?
L-A-N. Yeah, Lancelot Andrewws. He was an English theologian.
Hold up, Lancelot. What else?
Andrewws. He's an English bishop theologian.
Oh, Lancelot Andrews.
Yeah, and you're gonna see when you scroll down, it's gonna tell you that.
All right, so I'm on Wikipedia. Where I scroll down to?
Okay, all right.
Matter of fact, let me share my screen so you can see it, so you can direct me.
Okay. All right.
What year is they saying Lancelot wrote this the Bible?
This is they tell you that he wrote this. Let me see. He dedicated it and he created it in 1611. Let me see if I can bring this big. All right.
Well, then he did that under the authorization of King James.
It says he oversaw the trans. This says during the later reign, Andrew served successively as bishop of what's that? Chichester? How do you pronounce that?
Where you at, bro?
You see my screen?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah,
I'm right here. This is what I'm reading right here.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And it says of Winchester and oversaw the translation of the King James Bible.
Yeah.
Or authorized. Yeah.
So then there's another guy. His name is John Overall. He was a theologian. He was a part of that committee too.
Yep. But they was all under Bancroft. All of them are Masons, and all of them authorized by King James, who was a Mason himself. They twisted that whole thing around, brother.
Yeah,
They twisted that whole thing around.
Look,
but
these niggas got a Jesus college.
Jesus
college.
Yeah, they had twisted that all around by 1606. You know what I mean? And by 1611. But they had been working on that for years. And even before he put that out and authorized the King James Bible, He authorized a book on demonology and was a practicing demonologist.
And this nigga was hunting witches.
Yeah.
Them niggas was hunting witches, yo. It says it in Wikipedia.
You know what I mean? So yeah, and his whole team, Lancelot, all them was just translators, editors. You dig what I'm talking about? All under Bancroft. That's the man who was the right hand with the transliteration and rewriting and re-editing of the 1611 version, which come after Tinsdale's, come after the Algonquin version, come after the Geneva version, all that. You dig what I'm talking about? This is a brand new thing that was, still being worked out. And really pre all them, we find this book already done with Constantine.
Yeah.
330. 330. We find the new one, the Old and the New Testament already together before the Coptic Egyptian version that they think is the oldest.
Here go Constantine right here.
Yeah, Constantine had that done 325.
Look, its main accomplishment were settled of the Christological issue of the divine nature of God, the Son, and his relationship to God the Father. The construction of the first part of the Nicene Creed. The first council of the Nicaea was the first ecumenical council of the church. Most significantly, it resulted in the first uniform Christian doctrine called the Nicene Creed. And here's the Nicene Creed.
Mm-hmm.
It's translated, I believe in one God, the Father, the Almighty, maker of heaven and earth. So they was trying to declare the divinity of Jesus. Is he one with God, or is he God, or is God separate?
Yeah. And all those
Is he the Son of God and all that? You know what I mean?
All those councils was created by black people. They did that.
Say it again. You can speak up. You can put your
Yeah, all those councils, all those Nicene councils, it was like 4 or 5 of those councils that they came up with. But all those councils was created by black people, by the Coptic Egyptian sellouts.
I'm not sure about that. I don't believe so. I don't think Constantine was a black man. And then hold on, there were more than
he wasn't black. Constantine wasn't black. But what I'm saying is that these male Coptic Egyptians, they're the ones who was holding these councils to get Serapis put in place for an image.
Well, the first one of them, the first ecumenical council was put together in 325 AD by Constantine. What I'm saying is the last ecumenical council didn't stop till 1960. So they've been twisting this thing up the whole time. And then in 1881, they totally rewrote the Greek version of the King James Bible. They totally rewrote it in 1881. You dig what I'm talking about? That's for real. That's Horton them. Hort did that. Horton, what's his boy name?
But then you had during the Arius controversy, and he was a black African Libyan born. Arius opposed the doctrine of the teachings of Jesus Christ as the Messiah and the divinity of Christ against the teachings of Arius and 2 of his unyielding partitions, Theonis and Secundus, were deposed and exiled to Illyricum. How do you pronounce that?
Illyricum. But I brought this out in the debate. What this is telling you is that, and what Oahspe reveals is that anybody who had black skin, all you had to do was look like a Jew, irregardless of your doctrine. You got kicked out. This is why Arius got kicked out. This is why Secundus got kicked out. This is why Theononis got kicked out. Why? Because they look like Jews. They're African-born niggas. That's the only thing.
Look how they depict Arius. Look at this. First Council of Nicaea with Arius depicted beneath the feet of Emperor Constantine the Great. Look how they did this man.
Yeah, listen, So when the brother is saying that it's the black people that did no, history proves it's exactly the opposite. Black folks ain't had shit to do with the Bible. Nothing. Arius in them proves that anybody who even looked like a Jew. Listen, the only thing that a Libyan-born Christian, a Egyptian-born Christian, and a Jew of 325, the only commonality that they have between themselves is that they are all brown skinned. Oahspe revealed that shit. All you had to do was just look like a Jew
or Hebrew. No, you out of here.
You out of there. So this is why not only were they kicked out, they got excommunicated. Constantine wasn't playing. Nigga, you about to take this Jesus.
And he the nigga who authorized their text. So they got a depiction of a goddamn black man under the feet of Constantine while Constantine is declaring Christianity.
Right.
With the Bible.
Right. With your God, who then goes on to enslave you with other white men. Make sense.
Picture. Look at these niggas sitting right here. What they got in their hand? They got books in their hand. See that?
Yep. That's the ecumenical council.
Yeah. What you think they doing? What you think they doing with them books? They selecting.
And we can tell this to Christian God. Look at, blow it up just a little bit, Selah. Look at every one of those popes. What do they got on them? A chi in a row. Every single one of them. Look.
Like the cross.
They got the chi in a row on them.
They got that Luamong. They got that Luamong logo. That new Nike.
Mm-hmm. Is that wait a minute, is that Allah in the back in that little bubble right there? Because remember, it was Allah under the auspices of Luamong who was actually inspiring Constantine. They ain't ready for that.
That is true, because Jabril was responsible for presiding over the council. And that's the same Jabril that later came to Muhammad declaring himself Allah, deceiving Muhammad, thinking that Jabril is some different angel than Allah when the nigga played the nigga, bro. That's fucked up.
He played.
Angels are deceptive, man.
So I get what the brother is bringing, but historically, objectively, and truthfully, niggas ain't had nothing to do with that book.
Yeah, look at this. This is the first. This is these are references that the brothers bringing out with historical origins of Christianity. These are references in those books. Moses ben Maimonides was a Sephardic Jewish philosopher who became one of the most prolific and influential Torah scholars of the Middle Ages. They ain't no nigga. This ain't no nigga. If they want to talk the nigga talk, this is the Mishnah Torah. They talking about the Mishnah. This is, is a coded rabbinical Jewish religious law authorized by Moses Maimonides, rabbi. You know what I mean? So, and then we come down the line. We got what? The Gutenberg's Bible. This is what Walter Williams talked about. The Gutenberg's Bible, the first printed Bible. There wasn't no black man doing this. It ain't like niggas got control of the text and got printing companies doing this on their own. No, the Europeans had a hold of their book long before and long after. The Gutenberg Bible was the earliest book printed using mass-produced movable metal type in Europe. We got Martin Luther. He's responsible for what? The Protestant movement, Protestant Reformation, right? Then we got William Tyndale. What is he responsible for? Translation of the Bible into English. Ain't no black man right here. And then look at this. Look at the date, right? Now, 27 years after the Bible was translated into English, in the year 1563, this is 3 years before King James was born, Guess what was going on with black folks? What does this say?
That was enslaved.
Slaving vessel. In 1563, Jesus of Lubeck was chartered to a group of merchants by Queen Elizabeth I, becoming involved in the what? Atlantic slave trade and smuggling under John Hawkins, who organized 4 slave voyages to West Africa and the West Indies between 1562 and 1568. So while that was going on with us, this nigga was translating your book into English. So when we was going on a voyage to the Americas, the Bible was being translated into English. Well, this is niggas. Well, the Bible was being translated into English. What these niggas talking about?
So they wanted
King James.
So they wanted to throw salt and shade on John Newbrough with the Oahspe. But
but we got all this shit on the Bible. I would have brought all this out in debate, but the time was too short. Look, we got a King James Bible. This nigga that had a Masonic Bible like Cosmo brought out earlier. He got a book called Demonology. He was a Mason. The evidence is right here. King James was a Mason, the man who was responsible for authorizing the King James Bible. Look what it says. It states King James was an entered Freemason and fellow craft of the Lodge of Scone on April 15, 1601. Now, when niggas are saying that if John Newbrough was a Mason, they have to bring out this type of evidence as far as what lodge and the year he was initiated, like we did with King James. This is the book Demonology. They say King James was a black man, but you got a black man playing with demons. Or if it's a white man playing with demons. However you want to paint the picture, they want to talk about Fort Sumter, the book before John Blau wrote the Oahspe, but here you have King James writing Demonology pre-King James. Which one is worse? You have a letter that was given and added to John Blau Newbrough book by Bishop Hawkins, who Zion Lex foolishly quoted thinking that was John Blau Newbrough, but it wasn't. We cleared that up. But here now we have King James playing with demons right before the authorization of the King James Bible. Look at this. Demonology as a philosophical dissertation on contemporary necromancy and the historical relationships between the various methods of divination used from ancient black magic. It was reprinted again in 1603 when James took the throne of England. Demonology includes a study of demonology and the methods demons use to both trouble men. The book endorses the practice of witch hunting. This is what King James was involved in pre-King James authorized Bible. The nigga was running down on niggas witch hunting.
So we shouldn't be surprised when we see people like Cotton Mathers and the Salem witch trials coming a little later after that, where they are just slaughtering men, just because people are saying they are demonic or just saying they're witches.
Now keep in mind, all this is going on in England. King James over there playing with demons, while we over here, because we came over here in the 1500s, the late 1563. Now we in the 1600s, we over here, King James playing with demons, and the first Bible that comes to the Americas is not the King James Version, but the Geneva Bible. See that? The popularity of the Geneva Bible. No, matter of fact, let me read from the top. It arrived. When was the Bible brought to America? It arrived in America with Jamestown, Virginia settlers in 1607 and came on the Mayflower to Massachusetts in 1620, despite the availability of the King James Bible after 1611. See that? The popularity of the Geneva Bible persists into the second half of the 17th century and saw its final print in 1644. So the first Bible that came over here was the Geneva Bible. What's the Geneva Bible? The Geneva Bible is one of the most historical, significant translation of the Bible into English, preceding the King James Version by 51 years. Y'all want to talk and brag about the King James, but the Geneva Bible been rocking out prior to that. That was the popular choice. It was the primary Bible of the 16th century, England. Protestant.
Go ahead, bro.
Protestants, and I'm almost done. Protestants, and was used by William Shakespeare, right? It was one of the Bibles taken to America on the Mayflower Pilgrim Hall Museum was collected several Bibles of the Mayflower. Now look, This is the nigga who was on the Mayflower. This is the captain of the Mayflower. This is how the Bible came to the Americas. Christopher Jones, Mayflower captain. This is the nigga who brought the Geneva Bible over here. And where did the Geneva Bible derive from? The Tyndale's Bible. Got him. Ain't no niggas running the show. Niggas ain't even bring the book over here. Ain't no niggas on the ain't no niggas on the goddamn transatlantic slave trade with no tourists. The first Bible that came to the Americas was on this nigga boat.
And dodge the hijack. That ain't you on the boat. You're not on the fucking boat. Listen, they try to tell you in 1619, 20 or so odd negras was hijacked from a Spanish trawler by some Dutch and then sold into Jamestown, right? 20 people in 1619.
Let me, before you elaborate, let me read this last article because that's what it's talking about here, and then you could filibuster it in. The first Bible arrived in 1607. That is 12 years before the first slaves arrived in the Americas in 1619. In 1619 landing, Virginia First African Report. In late August 1619, 20 or 30 enslaved Africans landed at Point Comfort, today's Fort Moore in Hampton, VA, Monroe. Aboard the English privateer ship White Loin in Virginia, these Africans were traded in exchange for supplies. Several days later, a second ship, Treasurer, arrived in Virginia with an additional enslaved Africans. Both groups had been captured by English privateers from the Spanish slave ship San Juan, however you pronounce that last part. They are the first recorded slaves to arrive in England's mainland American colony.
But what they don't go on to tell you is where did the San Juan come from with the people? Was the San Juan in Africa? No, it was in the Caribbean. They bring in Indians from the Caribbean back up into the Americas and indenturing them. The English hijacked the ship.
And you know what? I got it on my arm. It's crazy because.
And then hold on, that's 1619.
Right.
They don't tell you about 1618. They don't tell you 350,000 pale-faced Europeans were brought here and indentured and put on the slave plantation a year before these 20 and so odd Negroes got here. They tell you that in 1607 or in 1606, we was already in the Powhatan Wars. Who is the niggas fighting against these Europeans? If the people are getting off the ships is slaves. Exactly. Who is Powhatan and them already fighting? And mind you, the Powhatan Wars don't end till the late 40s. We talking about the very first one was in 1606 with Powhatan himself, who they like to call Prince Philip.
So what we showing basically is the European influence on the hands of the Bible, from the authorization to the translation. And then we got Eleazar Ben Yehuda. This nigga's known for what? What that say? Known for reviving the Hebrew language. I already said that the Hebrew language is a proto-Semitic, come from the proto-Semitic script, which in return comes from the hieroglyphs, which in return is Hamitic, African and not Shemitic. And according to the Bible, the proto-Semitic script is Canaanite, and curse be Canaan. So Hebrew would be considered a cursed language based off the narrative of the script.
I told him a while ago, Selah, show me one black person who authorized the writing of the Bible. Just one.
They can't, because see right here, it starts right here with for them. They ain't got no Moses. They don't know who Moses is. So it starts with Ezra. And this is the depictions they have of Ezra when you Wikipedia. Of course, this ain't, you know what I mean? This is Ezra. Look at that. Ezra
Wow.
480 to 440 BC, the Tanakh 450 BC. How did the Tanakh come about? This is a depiction of Ezra right here.
Wow.
And this depiction right here on the right, that's from the 3rd century AD. That's damn near close to 1,000 years later. They had made a depiction of Ezra in the Dura Europa synagogue. That don't look like no nigga to me.
Did y'all hear?
Wow.
Did y'all hear? Did y'all hear how when Zion Lex had lied? This nigga on the line say he had 4 days prior to the debate. This nigga said he had bought the Oahspe. He read it in 4 days. I said 4 days. Motherfucker lying like a motherfucker. Come on.
Hey, he was lying like a rug, wasn't he?
The way you know he was lying, when he pulled out that verse and tried to show that the Egyptians were in hell, and I counted it by showing that these niggas was redeemed and was on their way to Etheria, he got cut because he would have never pulled that out if he knew that was dead.
Yeah, if he actually read it, he would know hell is just the lowest breathable part of the atmosphere. Exactly what the Egyptians wouldn't have been worried about hell. They called it the Dua. They knew about the underworld. They wouldn't have been scared. They wasn't spooky. See, hell is a place, the lower atmospheres, where you are purged from your earthly desires. Hell is not.
Let me clear up something too. You know, one time we was on Sonetta, and one cat was trying to say that John Newbro hand got struck with lightning and shit like that. Them niggas were being real simple-minded. This is an example and an illustration of what John Newbro was describing his experience when he said, one morning I seemed accidentally to me, looked out the window and beheld the line of light that rested on my hands extended heavenward like a telegraphic wire towards the sky. So the nigga hand wasn't struck by lightning. He's describing light like this. So just imagine you sitting there and this light is on your hand while you typing coming from out the window. That's what he's describing.
Man, they so simple-minded.
Yeah, man, it's like schooling children, for real.
Yeah, it's like talking to little. That's why we call them sippy cup brews.
Sippy cup. I gotta burp you niggas.
Yeah. I'm fed and birthed you niggas.
And now coming back to this dude right here, check this nigga, man. This is how he revised the Hebrew script. The nigga said ancient languages and modern standard Arabic were major sources for Ben Yehuda and his committee. Ancient languages, so that don't really tell us nothing. But here it said standard Arabic. The nigga used Arabic to revise Hebrew. But here's the catcher. The committee coins words according to the rules of grammar and linguistics analog from Semitic roots, Aramaic, Canaanite. Now, what do we call Canaanite? We just described it earlier. The Proto-Semitic script. That's Canaanite.
Right.
Egyptian, we know the hieroglyphs. And I told you the Proto-Semitic script comes from the hieroglyph. Let me show that real quick while we got it right there. Let me show that. Oh, shit. Undo that. Let me show that real quick. How the Proto-Semitic script is actually just taken from the Hebrew. There we go, right here. All right, check it, right? So when I oh no, let me come back up right here. Right? This is the Proto-Semitic script, which we call the Canaanite script, right? On the left is the hieroglyphs matching the Proto-Semitic script. So the Proto-Semitic script later became modern Hebrew. The aleph, the ox head, that's the aleph. That's a symbol of power, of force, right? So the term God in Hebrew is this. This is the aleph and the lamed. This is the two Hebrew words or the Proto-Semitic script for God. And this is found 1700 BC. But this is among the Canaanites. So what is that saying? When we come back here, when he is revitalizing the Hebrew script, he's using from Canaanite, which is Proto-Semitic script, and he's using from what? Egyptian, which is what? Where the Proto-Semitic script comes from.
It comes from the hieroglyph.
The hieroglyphs. So he's using Proto-Semitic and hieroglyphs right? And then it says, especially from Arabic roots. This is how he revised the Hebrew
Now,
language.
now, basically what they're saying is the Egyptian and the Canaanite, right? They're just the same versions. They're just versions of each other at different times.
This what happened. What
They
happened
come
was
right out each other.
the Proto-Semitic script, right? This script right here.
Is the Canaanitish.
What they did was they took 22 of the Egyptian hieroglyphs and made a script, made a separate script. It's like saying Hebrew, Arabic, and it's like saying Hebrew and Aramaic and Arabic.
Yes,
It
the
all
same
comes from
thing.
one source,
Yeah,
but it's different dialects expressed.
that's phonetics. That's Phoenician. That shows that it's all Phoenician based. Even the hieroglyph is Phoenician based.
Case in point. And in return, it comes from the petroglyphic system.
Facts. Petroglyphic is Phoenician.
Exactly. All they did was added the sounds to the images.
Right, because everywhere, because just depending on where you was, how much you want to bet, the very first dogs was called whoop.
Yeah, in the Oahspe days, the name of the animal was the expression of the sound. But check this though, the 22 Hebrew letters comes from the Proto-Semitic script. So they took 22 glyphs and made a whole language out this shit. Because it's more than 22 hieroglyphs. It's thousands of hieroglyphs. But they took these particular scripts and created a Proto-Semitic script outside of the hieroglyphs. And this Proto-Semitic script became what you know as Hebrew.
And the Phoenicians said why we did it that way is because we all use virtually the same sounds, but we're gonna write it how we want to write it. Exactly. That's phonetics.
Look at this. Several inscriptions of the pan-Canaanite name of God El. See how they associate in Canaanite with the language?
Yep.
It ain't say associated with the Israelite language. It said Canaanite. It's numerous sources where we could find Canaanite in the Proto-Semitic, being that's the influence. And who was the Canaanites, the sons of Ham? Cain's supposed to be cursed in the Bible. So y'all took on a cursed people language.
And then you are the Canaanite. If you say you them people that went into slavery under Assyria, Persian Medes, the Babylons, you got jacked up by the Romans and the Greeks, and you went to war and you did all that, you are half Canaanitish. This is why you speak their language. You can hate them all you want. You're just the proof
they adopted the Canaanite custom. They adopted the language. They adopted the priesthood. I already showed.
You married their women.
Right. Yeah. Check it. This is the priesthood right here. Look at this. 3,000-year-old Canaanite temple discovered buried in the city in Israel. They don't say no Leviticus temple. This should say Canaanite 3,000 years. But notice, look at the temple, right? Now you see this right here. Let me come to the picture. Now look, they put a date on it, 1650 BC. This is when this temple was recognized in the mid-Bronze Age, right? But look at this. Look what the temple say. Who was dedicated to? The Canaanite temple was dedicated to the god Baal, right? Now this temple is dedicated to Baal. Now look at this picture right here. Where you see number 1, this is the east entrance. The entrance is in the east. Number 2, this is the south wall. Number 6 is the north wall. And number 5 is the west. Number 4 is the dead giveaway. Now look what it says. Number 1, entrance to the Bronze Age. 2, southern wall. But let's go to number 4. Look. Foundation for the late Bronze Age, threshold temples of the Holy of Holies. Who had the Holy of Holies? And did not the Temple of Solomon have a Holy of Holies? Did not the tabernacles in the wilderness have a holy of holies? You have here the Canaanites have a temple with the holy of holies already established, and it's describing that they're coming through the east. This is
and predating Moses and Exodus
to their narrative, right? Yeah, exactly. This is exactly. So I'm glad you brought that up, because on the map right here, here's it goes right here. Right? This is the Middle Kingdom. This is the time period that Israel would have sojourned in Egypt. There go Moses right here, 1553 BC, right here, 5059, whatever. But look, the Temple of Canaan was 1650. So it was already established before Moses was. Here is Israel's sojourn in the wilderness when they worshiped to Moloch. This is when they got the influence of this same temple right here, or the same priesthood. The Canaanite priesthood with the Holy of Holies, that was established among the Israelites in the wilderness.
And look how long they in the wilderness. Look, they in their wilderness 40 years.
So 40 years, they was worshiping Moloch, bearing the tabernacle of Moloch for 40 years. They had a Holy of Holies where they sacrificed, burnt sacrifice by bullocks. You know what I'm saying? So what we're saying is that the Leviticus priesthood is a carbon copy of the Canaanite priesthood, because the evidence shows that the Canaanite priesthood was established before Israel even came out of Egypt.
Yep.
And by the time the Temple of Solomon was established, roughly around between 990 BC to 930 BC, that's the time of the Temple of Solomon. That's over 600 years after the Canaanites and their Holy of Holies. So when we put it on a time period, we see where the influence comes from.
And then dig this. It hit different when you understand that it took them people 40 years to walk 12 miles.
You see that?
And then, hold on, it hit real different when you do your homework on the fact that Moses and the real Israelites went west.
See that?
They went west out of Egypt.
Hey, look at this. An artist's impression of how the Migdal Temple would have looked during Middle Bronze Age of 1600. So look, it says Holy of Holies. This is just an artist's depiction of this right here. The Holy of Holies. You know what they did in the Holy of Holies? Let me show you what they did in the Holy of Holies. Watch this. This is what they did. Now, what's the purpose of the priest in the temple or the Holy of Holies? Leviticus 6:1. For I will appear in the cloud over the mercy seat. But in this way, Aaron shall come into the holy place with a bull from the herd for a what? Sin offering, and a ram for a burnt offering. You know what they do for a burnt offering, right? Do we need to show the go heads?
Oh boy.
Do we need to show the go heads, Cosmo?
Oh man. It's ugly.
Do we need to show what's going on in the holy, what you consider Holy of Holies?
Yeah.
There's pollution and defilement going on, playing with blood. This is what they're doing in the Holy of Holies. And the priest of Aaron's son shall lay the parts, the head, and the fat in order upon the wood that is on the fire, which is upon the altar. This is what they're doing in the Holy of Holies. They chopping off goat heads to God. Yo, what type of fuckery am I dealing with, King? This is this is the east gate right here, the east entrance. You come in at the east. This is the Masonic. They got this shit set up Masonically. You got the east, you got the south wall. You know when they talk about the Wailing Wall, the south wall in Jerusalem? Yeah. Nigga, this is the south wall right here in Canaan. This is the real south wall. 600 years before Solomon Temple. And then you got the Holy of Holies where they cut the goat heads and offer it to their God. And here's
this though, see, Lord, this the problem though.
Go ahead, King.
This the problem. Because we find in Leviticus 1, right, that their Lord is setting up a priesthood to kill these animals and children sacrifices, right? Exactly. In Leviticus 1. But then in Jeremiah, it go on to say that I didn't tell y'all to do any sacrifice whatsoever.
Facts.
Moloch told you to do that. Chayun did that. You gave that up for Baal. You gave that up for Ashtaroth. So my thing is,
when I brought this verse up with Zion, he tried to use that to say like it was only that day. But if you read on, matter of fact, let me pull that up because he again with that. Let me pull up that Jeremiah 7:22.
Listen, man, they so disingenuous.
Niggas be sounding ignorant.
Yeah, they disingenuous. He knew he was lying.
Yeah, that's what. And I see why they call that nigga Zion Lion Lex.
Lion Lex died on your source today. I'm taking that moray title. Taking that until you come debate me, sucker, and bring your God. You can't even get it back.
Hey, Selah, Cosmo. To prove, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, King.
Check this out. This is what Celsius, Cornelius of the first.
Speak up on the phone. Put your mic closer.
Yeah. This is Celsius Cornelius, a Roman century writer of the first century. This is what he says about.
Hold on, what book you read out of?
This is from this book right here. It's called the Mystical Journey from Jesus to Christ. Right.
All right, we barely can hear you though. You kind of low.
Okay, let me turn my volume up. I can you hear me.
Say it again.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, like when you spoke there, yeah, speak up at that tone. You can hear it's little, it comes out a little louder.
This book is called The Mystical Journey from Jesus to Christ. Right? And this is what Celsius, a Roman first century writer, says. He says the Jews were a tribe of Egyptians who revolted from the established religion. And then Strabo in 63 BC, he says Moses, namely, was one of the Egyptian priests and held a part of Lower Egypt. So these guys are saying that the Jews nothing but broken off Egyptians tribes.
You said say the last part again.
So the Hebrews are nothing but broken off Egyptian tribes. That's all it is. It's a broken off tribe of Egyptians.
You said the Hebrews are what?
They are a broken off tribe of Egyptians.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's some truth to that.
Yeah,
but
Oahspe say that.
Yeah, it's a bunch of truth to that. But then you got to remember, there are people who stayed with the oral traditions, with the tribes. You dig what I'm talking about? You know, and was doing their thing by themselves. And then you had a more the same stock of people who became more like the Egyptian. Those people go on to become your Hekakasu, your Hyksos, your shepherd kings in the northern part, and Avaris. Them people are 100% the blood stock of the two tribes that walk in with Abram into Egypt. See, a lot of people think it was one tribe. No, it was two tribes that the Egyptians called one thing. It's the tribe of Zerl and the tribe of Iz. This is where you get your name is Zerl or Israel from. The word Israel is not even Hebrew.
But to make it on a simpler terms, because you know it's not too much history on the Is and Zerel, but the way Oahspe describes what an Israelite is, being an oralite, meaning someone who is initiated into the oral tradition. So with that being said, it's not even classified under regime pool.
Yeah, no.
Jacob was wrestling with the angel. That could have been.
You gotta know.
No, go ahead, King.
No. The first thing you got to know what Israel mean. Remember, it's a name given to two tribes. What did the two tribes do?
That part, that's Oahspe. Niggas don't even know that history. Like, and then in the Oahspe says Is and Zerel are Hamitic tribes. But it's not enough history to go in on it. That's where that book in hand, if they got that book in hand, that probably would reveal some of that. Well,
what does reveal it is that with the tribes of Iz and Zerl come the Lycians, right with them. So they can't act like the Hyksos wasn't there. They can't act like the Shepherd Kings wasn't there.
Yeah, they were there definitely. They were definitely there.
Right.
There's no way. There is no way that this dude wrote. There's no way that Zion Lex read this book in 4 days. Because
Ain't no way.
where's your like I got the book right here. You know what I'm saying? Where's your notes at? Like where are you taking notes and stuff? Like where are you finding errors and stuff at? There's no way in the world you read that book in 4 days. That's impossible.
You know he was lying.
Yeah.
You know that boy was lying. He lost his integrity. You are no longer a moray till you come see Cosmine, sucker. You did what I'm talking about. I'm taking that. And what you gonna do about it? I bet you don't come out and get beat up again. Because this time we gonna debate your God. I want your God. I want to whoop your God like Jacob did.
No, what happened was he got salty at you. I saw the stream y'all did. I had chimed in at the last minute, but I heard when you trying to break the Hebrew and shit down, whatever, and he was speaking about the 7-day creation story. I'm like, how dumb is this nigga? Like, he was like saying about God arrested and ceased. Like, dude, don't you know those are synonyms? Those are the same sort of words, dumbass. Like, nigga,
And then, the first thing I showed that is God is an angel. So you got a nigga floating in space creating. Niggas they overlook the important parts. The fact that we showed the ever-present creator is not a goddamn man. And we showed that how the creator creates through vortexing and power and how it's generating power to create worlds. But in the Bible's narrative, you got a nigga, an angel, because I showed that in the beginning, God is associated with angels. And I showed that, Acts 7:53, and the angels that was with him in Mount Sinai, the only nigga that was with when Moses on Mount Sinai was God. Paul gave you that. Paul is revealing your God as an angel. The slave master Paul, the same nigga who was persecuting the Israelites, who had to change your heart overnight, is now telling you your God is an angel.
It's impossible to read this book in 4 days, man.
Listen, bro. Impossible. He lying.
Just reading the preface alone is going to take at least about 3 or 4 days just to digest that information, man. But you read this whole book in 4 days, get the fuck out of here.
No, bro, he lying, bro. And but see, the proof is in the pudding. See, once you say you read a thing, you ought to be able to recall what you read. So if you read, first of all, you said you read Oahspe and got it in 4 days, and then you also said you read The Fall of Fort Sumter. Why didn't you know, if you read it, right, that's not JBN talking in the book? See, he gaslighting. You dig what I'm talking about? These are just the ignorant ramblings of a man who never read the book.
That shit was funny.
Never read the book. Listen, I'm telling you, Zion Lex, lion ass nigga. You ain't no teacher, sucker. You died on your source, pseudo. You lied on the Hebrew. And then you lied on Elohim, nigga.
I got a dagger for you. All you gotta do is.
And then you lied on the. Hold on. I'm catching him in all the lies. This is why I'm taking your shit. This is why you got to come see me. I bet I'm gonna be on every live. You gonna block me. Because I'm gonna be on every live showing that you died with your own source, sucker.
Hey, yo,
you did what I'm talking about. You lied, nigga. You said
you're gonna be on something to do in your presentation, so you can say you can give all that energy right then and there.
Yeah, sucker. You done, bro. You don't get no moray title.
And so when that comes out before the debate come out, so when he pull that, it's gonna be like, look, you cut, nigga. Let him hang himself.
You cut.
In the book of Ezekiel, you can type this in. Type in the book of Ezekiel, the Lord tells the Israelites to eat human dung.
You said what now? About the book of Ezekiel?
In the book of Ezekiel, just type in the Lord commands the Israelites to eat human dung, human feces. to make their food. You have to mix it with like barley cakes and human dung. What type of creator is gonna tell a person to eat shit?
With the type of creator that don't know that there's diseases in dung. So that means you didn't make the animals or the man who would create the dung, or else you would know that.
But see, they don't even realize the whole time they following a damn deity. It's the deity that's telling you to go genocide your people. It's the deity that's telling you to go kill infants. It's the deity that's telling you to goddamn go take some dung and fuel it. It's the deity that's telling you you're going to go into captivity. I'm going to curse you if you don't follow me. That's just a man telling you this. That ain't the creator.
Facts.
So their whole concept of their spiritual belief, of their destiny of life after death and all that is sold within a man. You're going to face him. When you cross over, you're going to be thinking that nigga sitting on the throne is the most high. And you're going to fall for it because you don't know better. And this is what we exposing. That's the main thing. Fuck everything else. Y'all worrying about the white man. Y'all worrying about this and the colonizer. We telling you that nigga. There's a motherfucking false god masquerading around playing with your soul for thousands of years now. He got his shit so down packed that when we come to tell you that this nigga's a fraud and we show the evidence, you still are biased. You still hold fast. Niggas showed how they God genocide of 45,000 motherfuckers in 3 days, and niggas ain't pay no attention to that. You overlook that. How can anything supersede that?
Yo, the God killed 64,000 babies in one book. How can you overlook it?
Do I need to play the clip with these niggas talking about they'll kill their babies?
Play it.
Do I need to pull that up?
Pull it up.
You'll never hear us talking like that.
We want Bible.
You won't hear us talking like that.
Get it quick, still I read.
Is that if a child was to be rebellious, okay, towards their parents, they was to be taken out and stoned to death because of that. You see that?
Would you do that? Would you do that if your God came back to you today in glory and said, I want you to stone your son if he get rebellious? Would you? Would you do it?
Man,
yeah, I probably would. Yeah, I would.
Like, nigga.
Wow.
I came to you right now, tonight, in pomp and glory, shining, and he commanded the death of your child. Would you sacrifice your child?
If the Most High told me to do it, of course.
Why?
That nigga said if the Most High do it, of course. That nigga said that shit with confidence.
Yeah.
That's two clips of two niggas talking about they'll kill their child if God say so.
What's that, Judah Nass? Yeah, they call me a witch and a warlock on sign of the show.
Judah ass, man. Toilet. Would you say
The toilet nights.
Now look, these niggas admitting to killing their child, right? Let me get that book of inspiration when Jehovah shows you distinguishing the two. That book of inspiration. Hold up. Let me get that chapter and verse real quick. To show you the ignorant of our people. They don't even test the spirit. Their own Bible say test the spirit and God. That should say test the spirit and God.
But Selah, but the God don't tell them how to test the spirit.
That's what I'm saying.
He just say it.
The niggas is half fed, man. Where that shit at? Hold on. All right, here we go. Now, we just heard the clip of these two niggas talking about they'll kill their kids if God said so, confidently. Now, let's read. This is how we know that the Oahspe is a better read, right? Look what it states here. This is the Book of Inspiration, chapter 9. Man I created with the capacity to distinguish my direct from my indirect inspiration, says Jehovah the ever-present. And my angels gave him rules by which he could make manifest the difference between the two. Now, check it. This is where the test come in at. Man has said, behold, any man may say, thus saith Jehovah. One kills his neighbor saying, I was thus inspired by Jehovah. Another practicing all goodness, and his words are wisdom and comprehension, and he says, I was inspired by Jehovah. Now here you have two people that are claiming that they're inspired by Jehovah. One who killed his neighbor and the one who just in pure righteousness, right? What Jaja say? I say to you, O man, in this I also give you liberty. Therefore, judge for yourself as to which came from me and which came from your surrounding Satan. You shall be your own judge in all things. So what Jaja is saying is that the nigga who's claiming to kill, claiming to be the Most High, following the Most High, is a liar. He's inspired of Satan. But the one practicing all goodness and righteousness is the one following the Creator. So these cats over here claiming to kill their children because God said so is not even testing the spirit.
And Judah Naz got a gay spirit on him anyway. He admitted that anyway. You dig what I'm talking about? But we understand now why he has the gay spirit on him, because he serves the Baalims, aka Yahweh Ka.
Look what their own book say. Behold, believe not every spirit, but try the spirit whether they be of God. See that? Your own book is telling you try this nigga, even if it's God trying. Just don't believe the shit. Try the spirit. So when we look at Genesis, right? This is Genesis where Abraham's supposed to be sacrificing the son. Now check it. And it came to pass after these things that God did tempt Abraham and said unto Abraham, and he said, behold, I am here. And he said, take thou thy son, thy only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains which I will tell thee of. And look what Abraham said. Abraham rose up early in the morning and saddled his ass and took 2 of his young men with him and his son Isaac, and cleaved the wood for the burnt offering, and rose up and went unto the place of which God had told him. So Abraham just agrees. Abraham ain't do, according to the Bible, what John 4:1 said. Believe not every spirit, but try the spirit, whether they be of God. But Abraham ain't do that. He just believed the nigga. He just believed this God, right? The Oahspe exposes, right? Now, this is Abraham doing the whole process to burn his son, and the angel stops him, right? But the Oahspe exposed that this angel was not the Most High. Book of the first book of God, 9:11. And while they were still praying before the altar, God withdrew from Abraham and allowed the evil angels who had followed them from Sodom and Gomorrah to draw near the altar. And one of the angels, one of the evil angels, clothed himself in great light and adorned with sparkling gems and a crown. He appeared so all the multitude of the people could look upon him. Abraham said, who are you? And the spirit said, what? I am your God, ruler of heaven and earth. It is this spirit, evil angel, that masqueraded himself like a true God that you have documented in your Bible. Right? So the angel asked him, Abraham said, I am your servant. Abraham don't know better. He like, all right, what you need me to do? And the spirit said, you shall take your only son Isaac and your hosts who are with you at Sodom and Gomorrah and go with me where I will lead you, for I have a great work for you. Now keep in mind, he did not tell him what he was going to do. He didn't say, I take your son for a burnt offering. He ain't say that at this point. He just said, you'll bring your son. I got a great work for you to do, right? So now, Abraham said, I will do whatever you put upon me to do. So in the morning, Abraham and his son Isaac and the host who had been with Abraham to Sodom and Gomorrah assembled together. And Abraham spoke, saying, where to, O God? Now keep in mind, this is the evil angel masquerading as God. And the spirit answered, saying, take the sticks and fire brand and come to the summit of hill over there, for you shall restore the rights of burnt offerings. Now Abraham is being aware of what he's telling him. Abraham told the people what God had said. So they began, and Isaac carried the willow of willows, such as basket makers use, saying, this will light the large pieces, but what will you burn for an offering, O Father? Abraham said, God will provide. Now keep in mind, he didn't tell Abraham yet that it's going to be your son. He just said, for you shall restore the rights of burnt offerings. But he didn't say your son yet. He didn't let him know who's going to be the burnt offering. You got to follow the narrative. And when they assembled to the place, Abraham gathered logs and heaped them up, and Isaac placed the willows. Now check it. Now here is where the test comes into play. This is where you test the spirit, coming back to John 4:1. Believe not every spirit, but try the spirit, whether they be of God. So Abraham is about to test God. Then the spirit spoke, saying, what shall man love above all things in the world? And Abraham said, God. And the spirit said, for which reason you shall offer your only son Isaac as a burnt offering, and it shall be testimony before your people that you will obey God, even to the sacrifice of your own flesh and kin. Now Abraham is being revealed who is the sacrificial person, which is his son. But what does Abraham say in response to that? Now that was the test right there. Now, listen to his response. Abraham said, show me that you are God, so that I may not err, for I have been commanded not to kill. See, Abraham stood firm on his truth. He just ain't go and believe what this nigga said, like, all right, let me go grab my son and let you kill him. Abraham said, like, hold up, my nigga. Everything was cool up in this point. You brought my son into this, and you telling me you want me to sacrifice my son? Show me you God, for I've been commanded not to kill, because the God I serve told me not to kill. But here you trying to tell me to sacrifice my son. And for me to do that, that means I got to kill. Abraham tested the goddamn spirit. Abraham stood firm on his instructions, which was thou shalt not kill. And the spirit departed away from Abraham, perceiving that he knew what? The higher law. What's the higher law? Thou shalt not kill. John 4:1, believe not every spirit, but try the spirit, whether they be of God. And then Abraham said, this testimony I declare to you, regarding which you or your own brethren are witness, that even the chosen of God can be deceived by evil angels. For they can take any name and form and have no fear of true God before them, declaring falsehood for truth and darkness for light. Bad drop. So basically, the Oahspe is revealing that who you have in the Bible thinking that God want Abraham to sacrifice his son was an evil angel. And God allowed that because God had to test Abraham's faith to make sure, like, let me test this nigga to see if he's going to stand on my word. And Abraham passed the test according to the Oahspe. He ain't killed, or that wasn't even a thought to kill his son. But in the Bible, he was headlong into the motherfucking situation.
And the biblical text contradict itself. Go back up to Genesis 22 where you had it at, Selah. Because remember, go back up. I think it's 1 and 2 and
okay, right here.
Yeah, right here, right? Because it says, now it says in 2, and he said, take now thy son, thine only son. But we know that the Bible makes a claim that Abraham had a son 14 years older than Isaac named Ishmael.
Thanks.
So how is Isaac his only son if he has an older son named Isaac? That means, Ishmael. That means Ishmael is not his son.
Yeah, facts.
So that's a lie. That's a lie. You dig
and
what
you
I'm
know
talking
what?
about?
That's a death blow to Islam, because Oahspe exposed that Hagar was already pregnant with Abraham, was already pregnant with Ishmael. So Ishmael was a stepson to Abraham and not the seed of Abraham. So that takes away the whole motherfucking lineage being a descendant of Abraham right there.
And he couldn't have never married Hagar. He could have never even slept with her. Being an Israelite, he was only allowed one wife.
Right. They don't know that Isaac is Abraham's only son.
Type in Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 7 and 8. Read that.
Hold on. Let me pull it up real quick.
Key on to that real quick.
You said Deuteronomy what?
Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 7 and 8. Read that.
All right. You want to read it, Cosmo?
Yeah.
All right, there you go. Hold on.
Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee, thy elders, and they will tell thee. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel.
Go to verse 9.
For the Lord's portion is his people, Jacob is the lot of his inheritance.
Stop right there. It says that when El Elyon is the Most High, the Lord is Yahweh, or the Lord. So when you inherit something from a father, that means that this God of the Bible can't be the creator, because you are inheriting something like land or property.
Mm.
So there's
Right.
no
Now look at their inheritance, right? The
Yeah.
Lord's portion is his people, Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. No, go ahead, Cam. I'm gonna just get something while that's going.
Yeah, so that's proof right there that the Lord in the Bible is not that can't be it.
Hey, this is our inheritance. Jehovah said, I created the earth and fashioned it and placed it in the firmament, and by my presence brought man forth a living being. I gave him a corporeal body so that he may learn corporeal things, and I made deaf so that he could what? Rise in the firmament and what? Inherit
my Syrian words.
So while you got niggas worrying about the Lord being Jacob's portion, y'all on the earth plane dealing with murderers and sorcerers in the land of Canaan, we over here gonna be up in them ethers, baby.
I'm out of here.
We flying high. That's basically what we saying is that we going off to college and y'all niggas gonna be still stuck in high school. That's what we saying.
No, these niggas stuck in 3rd and 4th grade.
Sippy cup brews. Gotta burp these niggas.
Man, I fed and I burped you niggas.
I got some people. Oh no, that's y'all niggas. Okay. Oh, I had some other people in the back. Yeah, yo. You know what I mean?
No, man, they're afraid of that Oahspe. They're afraid of that Oahspe, man. It's cutting their beliefs to shreds. You know what I'm saying? And they don't have nothing to piggyback off of. You know.
But if this is a Dr. Seuss book, you dig what I'm talking about? A book from a maniacal slave master. How is it beating up their God? I was just asking a question, Primordial. I was asking a question.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, that's the thing, bro. They like when you go back to Zion Lex, he said he read the book in 4 days. That's impossible, man. That's impossible. There was no way that you read that book in 4 days and you obtain and absorb all that information, and you're gonna come to a debate and say that this book is pseudo and trash. All you had to say was is written by a white man that didn't. I mean, we didn't heard all of that stuff before, man. That's old. That's dead.
That's what I said. Everything they try to come with as far as like whether it be racism, colonization. I showed that the blueprint, you gave them the blueprint. When Joseph was being treated wickedly by their own brother, when Judah decided to say, yo, let's sell Joseph to the Ishmaelites. That's slave trading. Right there in the Bible among your own people. And then when we get to Leviticus and Exodus, when they talk about the Hebrew slaves and how the Hebrew slaves that work for 6 years and he shall go free with nothing. Who gonna work for 6-7 years and go free without anything? That's a slave right there. That's like some plantation shit. You could go on a plant and you walking down the street, the white man see you and capture your ass and bring you to his plantation, and you labor for that nigga for 6 years, then he let your ass go.
Damn. Damn, that's that 12 years of slave.
That's that 12 years of slave shit by their own people though. So every conviction you hold to the colonizer or the Europeans or whatever nations you got to hold conviction to your own people doing it to you first. So when we get past that now, when we level the playing ground, now we're trying to deal with God, this cosmological concept, how creation came about. Because when I laid out that presentation about cosmogony, nigga, I showed evidence objectively. You can't have creation without a vortex. Niggas talking about a Big Bang, nigga, you can't prove a Big Bang. We showed a vortex in real time, whether it was nature, whether it's through the galaxy. That's why I showed all the pictures of the galaxy to show you one universal system, a spiraling vortex in the central sun. And then when you look up the rules of vortices, it's the same thing. A spiraling flow with a central axis. And the cells of atoms respond in that same manner. You have the protons and the neutrons in the center, and you have the electrons spinning around the center. One universal
Everything.
system, and we showed this, and you're gonna tell me that the motherfucking floating angels creating the world in 6 days, and then on the third day he created fruits and vegetables, and the fourth day he created the sun out of order.
And then they never explain where that light come from in the beginning.
Yeah, right, because this is objectively everything in the creation in Genesis is objective. It's meaning it's literal. So that's why the nigga was like, the Amaraka, oh man, not everything is literal. Some things are metaphor. No, we're not talking like that. We're going by what it says. And it says what it says.
I told Sinetta on his channel and a panel in the chat numerous times to say, look, if you think that the spirits of the dead is not real, I challenge them. I said, go to Nuke's top 5 ghost videos. Sit there and watch all of those videos, and you cannot sit there and tell me that the spirits of dead is not here. They're afraid. They're afraid they're gonna go to hell. But your ass gonna be right here. You're not going up. Your ass is right here.
I showed that picture. I showed that picture of the ancestor on this channel that my man Ezekiel caught up the street and where I live at, right up the street.
That's Tahuti.
Tahuti, Tahuti. Tahuti. That nigga caught a picture of an angel, of an ancestor standing on his motherfucking aunt house, and he caught the picture on his phone. And I showed that shit on Sunday. I said, "Some of that's spooky. That's this and that's that." I see y'all disingenuous. So are you trying to tell me that your grandmother that passed away, that you dearly beloved, if you see her and come in spirit, now she's evil and spooky now? You're gonna tell me that you're not gonna try to be like, oh shit, that's grandma's shit. She may try to tell your ass. A lot of times, the reason they there is to try to tell you something. They not just there to be like, hey, look at me. They like, nigga, I got some shit to tell you about over here. Prepare yourself. Live right. I've seen things with my eyes on this side that you don't want to encounter. The same way we tell young niggas, yo, man, you don't want to go that route, bro. Niggas been locked up for such and such years. He just came home. You don't want to be like him. It's the same concept, but they so dumbed down to catch it.
I use this analogy. Nature is seen and unseen. To prove that is because I have all these books based upon medium contact with the other side. And when these people pass on in the other side, they say they see trees, lakes, water, rivers, and all that shit. Like, that's the same thing you see in physicality. So what's different from the physical world and the spiritual world? They see it's duality.
The only thing that makes it different is that, and this is the beautiful part about the science, because in science, there's 3 principal things in creation that you can't escape. The electromagnetic spectrum, which is the vibrational frequency of things seen and unseen, the periodic table of elements, the physical makeup of everything seen and unseen, and then you got the pH scale, the balance of life during the inhabitable age. But dealing with things seen, nature being seen and unseen, we're dealing with vibrational frequencies. Everything we see vibrates at a nanometer of 700 to 300 nanometers, 700 to 400 nanometers. That's visible light. Everything outside of visible light.
400.
Right, 400 nanometers, exactly. 300 nanometers would be considered invisible, outside of visible light. So you have a reality, a blueprint of nature that exists outside of visible light on the first plane. The first nanometers outside of visible light is an imprint of what we have here. That's why even the Oahspe and a lot of other spiritists be talking about, you got spirits that'll cross over and they don't know that they're dead. They're in denial that they're dead because they know that they are white. They know that they're alive, but they deny the fact that they shed their body. Because see, niggas think when you die, you're just gonna be resting in the grave. No, soon as this body shed, nigga, your ass is out. You're gonna be looking back like the movie Ghost. See, some of this shit in Hollywood be touching on real shit when it comes to the spirit shit. The movie Ghost is a perfect example of a spirit crossing over and their experience in those first moments. Because you remember when Patrick Swayze got hit, he got shot. And then the next scene, he showed the nigga running after the dude that shot him. So as soon as he died, nigga, he's still in spirit. In spirit, he active. He running after the nigga. But then
he was in chaos.
Exactly. No, he wasn't in chaos yet. He became chaotic when he turned around and walked back and seen himself with his girl holding him. That's when he became Like, what the fuck going on? What's going on here? Not knowing this nigga done died that quick, and the spirit done left his body chasing the nigga. By the time he turned around and look and walk up, he's seeing himself laid out.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? And you have spirit, you have mediums who tell stories about spirits who encounter that same thing. They see themselves after they die. They see their physical body in spirit. They in spirit and they see in their physical body as, you know what I mean? So it's like you die, whether if you die in the hospital, in the car accident, you get gunned down, you're going to hop out your body in spirit, you're going to die and see yourself. Because your spiritual body is a blueprint of this body. Your spirit been in this body from the time you've been in existence. So the imprint of spirit is going to look like this body when you cross over. That's why all the spirits of the dead look like how they looked when they was alive.
Yeah. In the book that I have, it's called it's about Arthur Finland. It's called The Dead Had Never Died. And the author of the book, he had a medium, and she was always getting in contact with spirits. And in one particular story, a guy who was a soldier on the battlefield, they were on the battlefield about to go to war, and they was outnumbered, and they all had got gunned down, and the shot, the bullets hit him so fast when he got hit, he instantly flew out of his body, and he looked and he saw his people who was on his side standing next to him. They didn't know what happened to themselves, but he was like, "Hey, we dead, but we think we still alive." You know, I think his physical body would know you. Nah, man, you it's a rapid as physical flesh. You a spirit. You know what I'm saying?
I think I read that. I think I read that too.
And in another story, a guy, he had passed away, and they are at his burial site, and they're giving a eulogy. And the dude who died is in a casket. He's standing next to the preacher, and the preacher, he's a medium. And the guy who passed away, he's talking to the preacher like, "Hey, why are they standing here crying and stuff? Can't they see me?" He said, "No, they can't see you, man. Your body's in the ground, but I can see you. I can talk to you, but they can't."
Exactly.
Yeah, man. I mean,
exactly.
You know,
that shit, niggas think that shit is cool, man. It's a website. It's a YouTube called Weird World, and they document cases of mediums who communicate with spirits of the dead, and they talk about the moment of death and that first experience right after. And if you see the similarities from their stories to cross stories and other stories and from books, it's no denying this shit. It's too many coincidences. It's too many coincidences that's not linked to each other that's telling the same story.
And there's no way people have these millions of near-death experiences where they are clinically dead, many of them for minutes at a time, you know what I mean, in comas all these times, and they say that they go to these spiritual places. Now, out of the millions, if just one is telling the truth, that means that's the truth. So I don't believe with the consistency, right? I could say even if I gave it 50% of everybody is lying, that means 50% is telling the absolute truth. And the singularity in how the experience, you know what I mean, of people who never met each other. You dig what I'm talking about? Who were in different places at different times, have the same experience, man. That's a clear hint to me to the spirit world.
Right. Yeah.
As I like my team.
It's too much. And you know what I mean? It's like, come on, yo. If you think this is it, it's like, that's why niggas, you know, that's why they got these hospitals in the spirit world for you niggas when they cross over. Y'all gonna have the hardest time comprehending what the fuck going on. Because you've been so
how the fuck you a spiritual people?
Go ahead, King.
How you a spiritual people, but you don't believe in spirit? How the Israelites who praise the Great Spirit don't believe in spirit? Make it make sense.
That's why, and this is how we could prove that the God they follow today is a false God. even in the Oahspe, it says that at one point the Israelites acknowledged no gods, no lords, no saviors. At one point, the Israelites acknowledged that the Creator was an inconceivable entity. But then it changed from that to where the Creator is now the Lord God, a man sitting on a throne. And this is the same concept that they believe today. We the ones trying to tell them, like, no, that's not the Most High. The Creator is ever present. We the Israelites who stayed steadfast to the belief of the inconceivable entity. We them Israelites. Like you say, Cosmon, they're not Israelites. It's because they're not following the teachings of the true Oralites.
You ain't following the Mosaic law. You don't even have it.
Matter of fact, they under the Leviticus law.
They're under the Levitican law.
I was watching
They're not Israelites at all. They're Leviticans.
I was watching the Discovery Channel 2 days ago, right? And I started thinking about the Noah story. And it said God said, take two animals and put them on a boat. I'm looking at the Discovery Channel, and they start bringing up crocodiles. What nigga you know in your right mind is gonna take a crocodile out of the ocean? I mean, out of the swamp, and put on a boat. You know your ass.
He ain't.
Go ahead, Cosmo.
He ain't. he ain't about to grab no goddamn crocodile. He ain't about to grab no sharks. He ain't gonna get no polar bears, no grizzlies, no gorillas, no He ain't about to get a nigga. Ain't about to get a roach. So that don't even make sense. Now this makes sense. If you got in your boat and you took already domesticated animals with you, you had a few of these, and you took domesticated animals like dogs and cats and chickens, maybe a cow or two, a goat with you, a few of them. You couldn't have took all that shit. Ain't no damn way. And then we serve the Creator. He made them the first time. What, you think he ain't gonna make them again? You think the Creator stopped creating?
But not only that, the death blow to that whole narrative is that the Oahspe exposed that shit came from a false god. The nigga created the narrative. Fact. So the nigga took the cosmological concept of Noah and turned that into a figurine, a mythical person called Noah, with his 3 mythical children called Shem, Ham, and Japheth.
And already revealed that their times. Ham, Shem, Japheth, Noah, Lamech, Methuselah, Enoch. They're all times.
And the crazy thing is, keep in mind, their creation story is 3761 BC. Let me pull up that map real quick.
Oh my!
Because you know what I mean. And this is why I don't understand. Like, we read in scripture, but then outside scripture, you got references where it talks about when their creation started. And then it's on record. It's on record when their creation started. Let me pull that up real quick. Right here.
Who's gonna feed those animals? Because they all eat different things. Who's gonna think of all the shit?
They ain't.
That's why it's fake. That shit ain't real. So that's why we could clown that shit.
That if a child was to be rebellious.
Let me take that shit off. This is the crazy ass nigga.
Yeah, man, that shit was crazy right there.
Where that shit at? Hold on.
I just walk him into the punches, C-La.
I already know, King. Look what that say. When did creation begin according to the Torah? This is according to the Torah. This is Yale University Library. Yale is credible, right?
You gotta change the screens, C-La. We still on the nigga saying he gonna kill his kids.
That shit just sound funny. So look, when did creation begin according to the Torah? Right? Now this is Yale University. Like I said, they're credible. Look what it says in the pink highlight, in the purple highlight. The starting point of Hebrew chronology is the year 3761 BC, the date for the creation of the world as described in the Old Testament. The Jewish calendar is lunar solar based off of what I don't care about that part, but 3761 BC is when God created the heavens and the earth. Now, this is the timeline This is the arc cycles of 3,000 year periods starting from the creation of man with the time periods on it. Now, if you look at the time, you see the first era of civilization, 43, 553 BC. You see the timeline. Time of the deluge, 22, 553 BC. But they said that their creation story is 3761 BC. That'll fall within this time period right here. Between 3953 BC to 1553 BC, within this time period is when God created the heavens and the earth. And this is the 23rd arc cycle. Between the 23rd arc cycle is when God, this is the 23rd arc cycle stretched out. You see 3953 BC at the bottom here. You see 5053 at the bottom right here. This is when God created the heavens and the earth in this time period. But then look at historically what was going on. At the creation of the cosmos, there was the Nakada period in Egypt.
Dang. Already.
Niggas was making cylinder seals in Sumer when their creation story was being motherfucking, when the world was supposed to be being created. This is what they Jewish scholars said. This is what this Yale University and all these niggas are saying. This is the accepted date. 5784 is the year. 3761 BC is the recorded date. So how can this be better for our people when it's so motherfucking it's contradicting? It's inconsistent.
It don't even make sense. It doesn't even make logically make sense.
Were talking about the flood of Noah. So the flood of Noah comes during the ending of the Old Kingdom and the beginning of the Middle Kingdom within that time period. That time period is when Noah's supposed to be putting all the animals on the boat. While niggas is building pyramids in Egypt. Niggas is building pyramids in Egypt while niggas is putting those.
Jesus Christ.
Yo, let me tell you something. Niggas are better. Lucky we only had 10 minutes, boy. Because if we do a presentation layout, it's going to be damaging for these niggas. This is their God. Their God came into existence 3761 BC.
Damn. So he ain't know nothing about Göbekli Tepe.
This nigga ain't know nothing about Göbekli Tepe. Now he talking about Göbekli Tepe. That go back to what? 12,000 years.
Yeah.
Göbekli Tepe is right here. You see that? 10,353 BC. We got this on the chart, placed in history. But your creation myth starts down here. So all these arc cycles prior to here don't even exist to you niggas. The time of the deluge for us is 22,553 BC, basically 25,000 years ago. Your deluge is during the ending of the Yo, you gotta be fucking kidding me, man. Yo, you gotta be kidding me. Look, this is our deluge right here, 25,000 years ago. This is they shit coming down right here.
Middle Kingdom.
Yeah, niggas was building pyramids when the flood of Noah was going on. What the hell these niggas talking about, man? You gotta be kidding me, man.
Man.
Now look where they got Abraham. Now check it. This is the killer. Look where they got Abraham. 1684. On the presentation, they had 1813 for Abraham. How can Abraham exist during this time period when this is the time period Israel was in Egypt? Remember, Israel came into Egypt with Let me show the Kenem Hotep. Let me show this. This is the glyph that shows the Asiatic, the Shepherd kings coming in.
Yeah, and that's really the third time. That's the third penetration.
Right.
Okay,
I see where you're going with it. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Now this is it right here. Look what that say. 1900 BC. This is when these niggas came into Egypt. West Asiatic foreigners. Don't they call it Shepherd Kings foreigners? Mean foreign rulers. Labeled as the Amun. With the leader labeled as a what? Hyksos. Shepherd Kings, as you was mentioning earlier, the Lycians, visiting the Egyptian official Kenem Hotep, 1900 BC, tomb of the 12th dynasty of Kenem Hotep, the Ben Hassan. So this time period is 1900 BC. Now let's go back to the chart. 1900 BC right here. right? And they spent 400 years. 400 years will bring you to the 5th century BC. But they placed Abraham at 1684 BC, and on the presentation I did, they placed him at 1813 BC. So both time periods is off with Abraham because that would have been the time period that Israel was sojourning in Egypt for 400 years.
Yeah.
So Abraham would have had to been placed back here. Within the Old Kingdom or pre-dynastic would have been the time of Abraham.
But really show them where Abraham at. Abraham way back at the start.
Yeah, he would have been
3953.
Yeah, he would have been doing that. He would have been like in the 4th millennium BC. Now niggas be like, "Yo, that's stretch. That's a stretch." But
bullshit.
Yeah.
We can tell by his cosmological sign. You dig what I'm talking about? They show him with the horns of the ram and of the Taurus bull.
And you know
they back to back.
Watch this. They God is symbolized with the bull. Watch this.
Uh-oh.
Now I'm starting to think that's why that nigga wants so many bullocks.
That's why remember what his sign was.
Look what that say, Cosmon. This is L. This is L. What that say? What that say? English L, Hebrew L, Arabic L, King of the gods. King of the gods. So this is the Most High. Your other names, El Shaddai.
His symbol.
His symbol is what? The bull.
The bull. The Tau. It's called the Tau. It means strength. And then look, this the fucked up part. When you go back to the Ugaritic text, Baal, right? Who a lot of people say that is right there, right?
Right.
It is the God who ends up ruling. But him and his sister, he had a sister named Annette and one named Ashtera, a girl, a wife and a sister. Baal did. And in the Ugaritic text. But Baal got his marching orders from El. And we know that Ashtaroth and Baal all worked for Osiris. So that puts it right in Middle Kingdom in between 2700 and 1553 BC, because that is at a time, first of all, Ugaritic text circa about 3500 BC, because that is at a time when Baal and Ashtaroth are under a head deity, Osiris. And his sign is the bull, per the Book of the Wars. He said make a
even when they created Serapis, they used Apis the bull and
good catch.
Apis the
Good
bull.
catch. They used Osiris and Apis.
Look at that.
Damn.
Look at that. The bull.
Damn.
See that?
They use Osiris and his sign to make a new god.
Right.
Wow.
And this ain't Hathor, because a lot of times they'll reference Hathor, but no, we talking about Apis here. This is who they made goddamn Serapis with. But the crazy thing with this, look, the symbol of El is the bull.
Tau, that's the bull of heaven.
When you look at Moloch too, this nigga rocking the goddamn goat horns. He got the bull horns. They're offering up the. You remember, the Lord want a sweet savior of burnt offerings. Look what they offering. Them niggas done burnt the meat, the fat, and the head, and the smoke is coming up, and God's supposed to. This is the sole purpose of the sacrifice. This is the sole purpose of the peace offering, the sin offering, and the burnt offering is to offer it up to their God, and he's supposed to enjoy the smell.
Yeah, sweet savor.
The sweet savor, exactly.
But it hit different when you know that Baal, the horn god, right? The horn god, right, is Molech. Don't Baal take the sacrifice of little children?
Yeah.
So does Molech.
Yeah, they exactly. And Molech, and they're in
the same area.
Because it's a title. Molech is like more like a title. Let me pull up that because when I was looking
Yeah,
at the
it's a title.
right, so it could be a title placed on Baal. Well, if not even
Molech
placed
means
on Baal,
Lord and God.
yeah, they could take on the title itself. Let's say, let me look at the Wikipedia where it gives some reference to the
Did you see that? Appalling sacrifice. Ooh wee.
See, look, the etymology of Moloch is uncertain. It's uncertain. First off, they don't even know. A derivation from the root Moloch means to rule. Is widely recognized. So, which is a title to rule. Ain't Baal ruling? But they got different meanings. But for the most part, that's it right there.
And then Baal overthrow El in the Ugaritic text, just like Baal overthrow Osiris in real life.
Look, traditionally, the name Moloch has been understood as referring to a Canaanite god.
Mm-hmm. Who is the Canaan? No, it's only one Canaanite god.
And that's this guy right here. What
Mm.
it say? King of the gods.
Mm-hmm.
And Moloch means to rule. So he got to be the head honcho right here.
Yeah, that's Baal. That's the Lord.
Look at Baal's children. Yahweh.
Yep.
Himself in there.
Mott. Look at Mott. Yam. Actually, Yam and all them are children of El.
Look at that. Syrian equivalent. They're gone.
Hold on. Look at the Mesopotamian equivalent.
I knew. Ooh, look at that. I knew.
Hold on. Go up one more. What it say up top? Right above that?
They're gone. Oahspe confirmed that. Dagon was a god worshipped in ancient Syria across the middle of the Euphrates. The temples located in Tutul and Tarqa.
Wait till y'all find out why Anu is always with Enlil. Wait till y'all find out that Anu is Anu Hasaj and Enlil is Anubis. Yeah, the god of the heaven, the god of the air, the Lord of the scale. Anubis is Enlil.
He associated with wind, air, earth, and storms.
Cosmon don't make this shit up.
As the chief deity of the Sumerian pantheon, but he was led.
I was doing it. I was doing this in the 90s.
Now look at this. This is the Gebel El Erech knife, possibly the nickname of El with 2 lions. Do you know this was founded in Egypt?
Of course it was, because Baal is Heru.
Look at that date though. 3450 BC.
Come on, man.
It showed that Narmer was fighting off the Asiatics that was occupying Lower Egypt before he unified it. These niggas was ruling it. You had the Shepherd Kings right here. These niggas was in Lower Egypt.
And it already been there 500 years. By 3450, Moses and Abraham and them had already been there 500 years. Let that sink in.
Look what this say. Look, the Gebel Erech knife. Look what this should say. The Gebel Erech knife is an ivory and flint knife dating from the Nakada second period of Egypt, prehistoric 35 to 32 BC, showing Mesopotamian influence.
Wait a minute. Oahspe is the only book that's telling you in the world that the Mesopotamians or the Persians, the Negroes, the so-called Asiatic black men are the ones who founded Egypt.
Exactly.
The Nakadas, and look, this second period, you don't even get Narmer till the third Nakada period, part C.
Now look, we talk about the Nakada period. Now look, we talking about. Let me pull it back up. Where is that? Okay, all right, right here. We talking about the Gebel El Erech knife which goes back to 3500 to 3200 BC. And it said, look, the Nakada second. What did I show on this map right here? The Nakada period, ending in 50 BC, right? Their creation story was being created when we found an evidence of the Gebel El Erech knife. We show a Sumerian influence in pre-dynastic Egypt. And look, these are your shepherd kings right here.
Yep.
These are your shepherd kings right here. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Look what
it looked like Baal at the top though, holding the lions, but ain't no telling.
Look at this.
It also looked like an Assyrian. I mean, you know what I mean? It looked like the Persians.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These niggas is look. This is a Persian right here. The Mesopotamians. That's just not. That ain't nothing more but what? Western Persia, Iraq.
Yup. Gebel El Erech. Dang.
Period. You see what I'm saying? But look at this symbol right here. This is the catcher right here. Let me find that symbol. Now,
whoa.
Look at the scorpion. The
scorpion. Whoa.
Oh, this is pre-dynastic Egypt.
Hold on.
Look at this guy.
Wait a minute. Oh, listen. Go back, bro. Go
like
back.
Asiatic. That don't look like no mother.
That scorpion right there. Blow that up.
Yeah. Who that is? I already
blow that up. Blow that up. Yeah. That's my nigga right there. That's Scorpion 1. Right? His name is, hold on one second.
And look, he's wearing the crown of Osiris too. He's wearing a crown that's either the north or the south.
Yep.
Which one? But it ain't the crown. It ain't unified. It's showing you it ain't, because the unification crown, it got the wings, it got the feathers on it to show the unification of north and south.
Now look, this circa 3200 BC. This is Scorpion 1. Go blow it back up, bro.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead. All right.
Look, showing you the sign, right? Of the scorpion right there. This is Scorpion 1. Oahspe reveals that these people come from the Gerzian civilization, who are Persians from Mesopotamia. This is during Nakada 3C, circa 3200 BC, right? Starting with this guy, right? This is Lutag, the great Gerzian king. Lutag, his Horus name, also, right, called Horus, right? But his Horus name is Scorpion 1, right? And this is one of the oldest pre-dynastic drawings of a actual king, and it don't come from Egypt. It's Mesopotamian. That is your King Luthor. He would be Scorpion 1. Then we hear about the famous one. We all hear about that they make the movie about with Rock and all that. That's Scorpion 2. Or Horus Roy Zekinka, right? Oahspe reveals his Persian name is Hakax or Hasax, right? He would be the most famous Scorpion 2. A lot of people don't know that there's Scorpion 1 and 2, but that's Luthag and his son Haxax, right? Circa 3100 now.
Now look at this.
Right?
This is on the Norman palette. These niggas got afros, bro.
Yeah. But look at that. Look, hold on. Above him is a Persian lion. Look, right there. Right there. That is a Persian lion. And if you turn it on the other side, you have the Persian iconography of the double-headed dragons. It's 100% Mesopotamian.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for, the double-headed dragon.
It's up there. But look, Go back. Yeah, go. Yep, because go get that Narmer. Because we going to blow the cap off Narmer.
Look at these niggas. They look like pygmies, too. They look like goddamn lions. The African
I
lions.
think, yeah, they look like irons. They look real little.
I'm trying. That's what I was looking for. That goddamn double. Because
go back to that one, yeah. Because I thought I seen you. You showed.
It showed that. Yeah, you seen it too then. Because
yeah.
Is that it?
Is that it?
Hold on.
Because it looked like a circle.
Yeah, exactly. Like the two necks twining to each other.
Yeah. Yeah. That's Gurzian. 100% Persian.
Oh, it looked like okay. But look at this.
Yeah.
Now, this is the nigga who they found in Egypt. But look at this nigga. Similar portrait of probably Uruk king priest with the brimmed round hat and a large beard excavated in Uruk dating to 3300 BC, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you got the Gabel El Erek knife. They say Mesopotamian king as master of animals on the Gabel El Erek knife at the top of the handle dates circa 3300 to 3200 BC, Abydos, Egypt. So what they telling you? You had a king in Uruk the same time period when this dude is in Egypt. So it's showing you that Sumer was already established with the kingship pre-dynastic Egypt.
Right. And he would have been the last of what we would call Ugaritic or Nakata type kings. They are all 100% Mesopotamian. But don't get it twisted like them is some different type of nigga. That's still an African. That's still where Hebrew come from, right? But what puts the twist on this is that the northern Assyrian people, right? The northern Babylonian types and all them were Persians. They were not Canaanites. They migrated and dominated that area. This is why they always tie you in with an Amorite, because they know you are the Middle Eastern nigga. You're not a Hamitic African.
Yo, this should be deep.
You a nigga. You from Shem. And once you figure out that
the Shemites, they wear the beds like the Mesopotamians, the Babylonians, and the Assyrians. You always see them bearded out, but you don't see the Kemites. I heard they was against it, long hair and all that shit.
And then it's not even that they against it. They can't grow it.
Okay, right.
They can't grow the long hair. It's only the Negro who has copper-colored brown skin with long, black, coarse hair that he can make in the dreads and grow. In a month, I can have a full facial beard.
Thanks.
You ain't an African, never. And then,
there you go.
The crazy part.
There you go. That's that's on the normal pattern, but they got another one like this coming out of Mesopotamia. This shit is Mesopotamian right here.
That's all Mesopotamian. Narmer is Mesopotamian. He Gurzian. He from the Napata Sea period. This is look. This is who Narmer is. Narmer, circa 3050 BC to 3016 BC. Narmer or Horus Aha, also called by the Greek Menes. This is all the same man. Narmer, Horus Aha, and Menes are all Baka. The man who separated the kingdom of Egypt from the dominant rule of the Gurzian, Persian, Mesopotamian people.
Now keep in mind,
Narmer.
all the artifacts that we showing predates their biblical creation story.
Yeah. Predates their God.
Look at this lizard-headed nude woman nursing a child, 4000 BCE. Yo, God wasn't even creating yet.
And then he fell asleep 6 days into 3671, 3761. 6 days later, this nigga went to sleep. He rested.
After 1 hour work week. Fall
Yeah,
back.
and he ain't do nothing but talk on the phone. Because he didn't actually say he did anything. He just say he spoke it into existence.
Right. Right. That shit is hilarious, yo.
That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. I was looking for that the other pic, but
Well, what you want?
the one with the double neck in
It's on there, man. Yeah. You tap that in. Mesopotamian entwined serpents.
Yeah, some shit like that. Right. Fact.
Yeah.
Like, nigga, gotta get that.
Yeah. You're gonna find it in Persia too. Another quick secret too.
Right there. There you go. Bam. Got him.
Boom. Boom.
There we go.
Boom.
There we go.
Boom.
There we go. Look what that say. What that say right there? 3,000 cylinder seal of Uraka with serpent design. But look, we two up. We two up on Nama. If this shit come out of Egypt, nigga, we two up.
Yeah.
Where the Nama palette at? We put a Nama palette.
Yeah.
Right there. Bam. Watch this. Watch this. What that? What the blood clot? What that?
Ooh.
Where it come from though? Where it come from though?
Mesopotamia.
That's what I'm saying. Look what it say. The serpapard, yeah. Is a mythical animal known from ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia art. The word serpapod is a modern coinage. It is a what? Portmanteau or a serpent, basically.
A portmanteau or of serpent and leopard. Oh, so like a chimera.
It's like the Ammit in Egypt.
Yeah.
Someone made up. This is the thing. Niggas be talking about fairy tales and all this shit. But look, nigga, this is where the fairy tales originated from. If you want to talk fairy tales, these niggas mixing animals together, creating concepts. But nonetheless, you see this shit coming out of Mesopotamia. That's
Hold on, go back. It say the serpent and the what? And the leopard. We see that leopard print being worn by the king and all the high priests in Egypt. Maybe the leopard and the serpent are also representative of the lands. One where the leopard would live in the more jungly regions of northern Africa. You dig what I'm talking about? And one where the serpent would be in the desert, mountainous regions of Mesopotamia.
Look, a sentinel seal is a small round cylinder, typically about 1 inch in length, engraved with written characters, figurative scenes, both used in ancient times to roll an impression. I'll just see if they had the location. But yeah, we've seen this shit coming out of there. And they already say that cylinder seals come out of Mesopotamia anyway. But look, we two up on Narmer. This is two up. This is Narmer palette. But Mesopotamia is two up on it, showing you where the influence came from, yo. Look at that.
What is it? I'm looking at the chat. What is he saying? Could you break down that copper color perspective? Is it, he's saying Kuri Mayo?
All right, let me show the pictures of Abraham real quick.
Yeah.
Because, you know,
this is what Jaja say he left in America. This is what the Indian Aboriginal of America is of the same stock.
Like, for example,
and physiognomy of the people who go on to produce people like Abraham, Moses, and Yeshua.
Like here's an example. Like Abraham was of pure blood and Ahuan, and the light of Suez had been upon his forefathers and foremothers since the flood. And he was large and red like new copper, black hair, and a long beard, fierce to look upon, but his soul was gentle as a woman. So they describe Abraham being copper color. The region where Abraham is from is where we got the depictions right here. These are Persians. And it described exactly how Abraham looks in the regions where he came from in ancient Persia.
And the Ahuan is large and copper colored.
Right. This
Every Ahuan.
And it said,
the Ahuan is basically another word for nigga.
And key right here said he had a long hair and a long beard. Now here you see the Persians with the long beard. You know, the Egyptians didn't wear beards like this, but the Persians did.
And the modern and ancient Hamitic men don't grow beards.
Right. So Oahspe is lining up Abraham with the region he would have came from. So when people talk about, oh, look at the drawings of Abraham in the Oahspe, we don't go by that. We go by what this shows us.
Yeah.
Because if we want to put up drawings, we could put in illustrations of Jesus in the Bible.
Dang.
Right? Illustrations of Jesus in the Bible. You have Bibles with these.
Jesus.
You see that? Now, what if we were
That
to say,
Jesus.
look, Jesus, look how they drew, look how King James drew Jesus in the Bible. So
That Jesus.
we could use the same analysis, but then we can go in the Bible itself and say that Jesus had what? His feet was of bronze, birthday.
Bronze. Yeah.
And that's the exact same thing we doing with this analogy. So every time y'all use something against us, we show self-conviction to your same argument.
Yeah.
So this is a description of Abraham. Then we go down and here it gives you a description of Moses. Same thing. Same thing with Moses. Hold up, right here. This is the household of Moses, right? Look at the description they say of Moses. Moses grew and became a large man, being pure Ahuan, copper colored, and of great strength. Moses was a big nigga. He wasn't no little nigga, but it says copper colored. And here is the household of Moses. This is Amenemhet III, his stepfather. This is his stepsister, Sobek-Nephru, and this is Moses, Amenemhet IV. Right? And look, Amenemhet IV, right? Perhaps as adopted father. They got this right here. What does the Oahspe say? Watch this. Let's read a verse about Moses in the Oahspe right here. I could have finished reading, but I just wanted to show that. Look what it say. Moses grew and became a large man, being a pure Ahuan, copper color of great strength. And Pharaoh having what? Pharaoh having no sons, sold his heart on Moses and raised him as a prince. Now let's come back to what Amenemhet IV is identified as. Perhaps as adopted father. Adopted father to who?
Amenemhet IV.
Case in
Moses.
point. Case in point. Now look, Amenemhet IV. Let me read the highlights. Amenemhet IV may have been the son, grandson, or son-in-law or stepson of his predecessor, the powerful Amenemhet III. Amenemhet IV was succeeded by Sobek-Nephru, who may have been his what? Sister or stepsister. She was the daughter of Amenemhet III. So what we're saying is that the household of Moses would have been the 12th dynasty.
And also, he was not only his sister, his adopted sister. She was also his adopted mother.
Exactly. Case in point. That's why they got sister, stepsister here. But check this. Amenemhet III is not known for his sons, but his daughters. Amenemhet IV does not seem to be a first-rank son of Amenemhet III, but he may have been a son-in-law. See that?
They don't know where he came from.
They got the nigga mother, and which created the king's title, mother of Hotepi. That's his mother. When Amenemhet IV was appointed junior co-regent in the first year of Amenemhet III. Junior co-regent. What did the Oahspe say? Pharaoh had no son, bestowed his heart on Moses, and raised him as a prince. To raise him means that's a co-regent. So we showed you this is the household of Moses. And this is over.
Look, hold on. If you keep reading it, say that.
Having provided him with men of great learning to teach him. Moses was master of many languages and also made acquainted with kings and queens and governors far and near. And he espoused the cause of the king, whose dominion held 7 kingdoms beyond Egypt as tributary kingdoms, which pay taxes to Pharaoh. Pharaoh
was a co-regent.
He was a co-regent. So we identifying that Moses historically would have been Amenemhet IV. That one Israelite brought this out but us. And I brought this shit out years ago.
Yeah.
We just, you know what I mean? Just nip it in the bud. So Moses is described as copper color. Abraham is described as copper color. So we just showing you that, you know.
And they don't know where the hell they. First of all, they know Amenemhet III didn't have a male son.
Right. Right. We can look.
But they don't know where Amenemhet IV came from, and they also don't know where he went. He just disappeared.
Right, because they don't have a burial site for him.
Nope.
Let's pull that up. Let's pull this Amenemhet III.
That's the OG right there. OG Hyksos. Now these is the people.
Now look what it say with his children. Nefertari, whatever. It says Amenemhet IV probably.
Yeah, but probably. for show, look, Sobek Nefru, aka Latonis.
Exactly. Let me see something. Exactly.
Co-regency right there.
No, that he was a co-regent to his father. Talking about son third. But I'm talking about because this is Amenemhet III.
Yeah. Oh, that's the third. Oh, okay.
Yeah. This the But if you notice,
he a beast though, bro. He did like the most building, man. The Hyksos kings wasn't no joke.
But now coming back to the Serebek El Kadim that we was talking about, the Proto-Semitic script come from, because there was this is where the Serebek El Kadim mines is where niggas was doing the mining at. When you was talking about those symbols in the caves by the Asiatics, that's the mine, because it says mining expeditions right here. So these mining expeditions is where you get the Serebek El Kadim inscriptions. Let's go to Amenemhet IV right quick, right?
Yeah.
All right, so we here. Look what it says. Amenemhet IV was the 7th of the 12th dynasty during the middle of the kingdom. Boom, boom, boom. All right, look. Amenemhet IV may have been the son, grandson, or son-in-law, or stepson of his predecessor, the prophet Amenemhet IV. His reign started with seemingly peaceful 2 years co-regents with Amenemhet III. He undertook expeditions in the Senya. Ain't that
for turquoise?
Right.
That's where the mines are.
Exactly. But he's
in the Sinai.
Sinai, yeah, that's in the Senya. The Sinai, ain't that where they went? Ain't Mount Sinai is where the Lord came to these niggas? What is Amenemhet IV dealing with expeditions in the area where the Lord met him? So what basically we're saying is Amenemhet IV is Moses, and we just showing correlations. Right, what else? Amenemhet IV built some parts of the temple of Hathor. You remember when the Israelites was in the wilderness, when they left Egypt and they built the calf?
Yeah.
Hathor at Serebek El Kadim. This is the same area where the minings was at.
Yeah.
See what it say? Serebek El Kadim is the locality, the southwest Senya Peninsula. And this is where what? The temple of Hathor was at.
What did it say? What did keep reading, bro?
Amenemhet IV built some parts of the temple of Hathor at Serebek El Kadim in the Senya and constructed the well-preserved temple of Renin Tuti in Medina Madi. Yeah. The tomb of Amenemhet IV has not been identified. Bag drop. You know why? Because the nigga left.
He was gone.
He was out of it. According to the Bible, he was buried in I forget the name.
Peniel, right? No. Nebo, right? Mount Nebo, right? Pilash. That's what it is. Mount Pilash.
Got you. Amenemhet IV was succeeded by Sobek Nefru.
So Big Nefru, his mama.
Exactly. And who may have been his stepsister. She was a daughter of Amenemhet III. Her reign marked the end of the 12th dynasty and the beginning of the Middle Kingdom decline into the second intermediate period, which was really the beginning of the New Kingdom.
Right. That was the end of the second intermediate period. That begins the New Kingdom. She only ruled 3.5 years, and she got either stabbed or poisoned.
Now check this out. Here's where it gets interesting, because we're talking about Amenemhet IV's mother now. This is supposed to be Moses' mother.
Yeah.
Amenemhet IV's mother was a woman named Hetepe. Hetepe is only known attestation is an inscription on the wall of the temple of Renetet at Medina Mada, where she is given the title of king's mother, but not the title of king's wife, king's daughter, or king's sister. However, this does not mean she was not a wife of Amenemhet III, her title in relation to Amenemhet III might have been omitted in an inscription of her son's reign. Relationship of Amenemhet IV to Amenemhet III is debated. Amenemhet IV was the son of Amenemhet III according to Manetho, but as he isn't called a king's son in any known reference to him, some historians believe that he was a grandson. However, there is no record of another son of Amenemhet III, and as stated above, Hepteti, his mother, is not known to have been called a king's daughter. Manetho states that Amenemhet IV married his sister Sobek Nefru, who was identified as a royal daughter of Amenemhet III, who eventually ruled in her own right upon the death of Amenemhet IV. However, Manetho's claim about the marriage has not been proven correct. Sobek Nefru is not known to have bore the title king's wife among her other titles. Egyptologist Kim, however, has alternatively proposed that before marrying Amenemhet III, Hetepe had been previously married to another man, Moses' father, and that Amenemhet IV came from this marriage. Bag drop.
But let me tell you why that's bullshit. First of all, the reason why she's not labeled as the king's wife, because she is the fucking king. It's Sobek Nefru. She pharaoh. They weren't even pharaohs at this time. Weren't no pharaohs. Sobek Nefru wasn't pharaoh. Amenemhet IV wasn't pharaoh. Amenemhet III, son of Sret. None of them were pharaohs. Wasn't the very first pharaoh in the world is the one in the Bible. His name is Nugon, aka Amos the First. He's the very first pharaoh in the world.
But the catcher here, though, is that in the Oahspe, matter of fact, let me pull that up with Moses' parents. This is confirming that if Moses is, first, this is confirming that Moses' mother was not married to Amenemhet III.
Right.
Now here it's saying that she may have been possibly married to another man from a previous marriage. So when we talk about Moses' mother and father, it wouldn't be definitely Amenemhet III. But hold on, let me get the
That's her father. Why would she be married to her father? That don't even make sense.
No, I'm talking about Moses' mother.
Oh no. Yeah, no, that's a whole different person.
Yeah, I'm talking about Moses' mother. So let me see if I can find out where he born.
What does Heptepe mean?
You said Hetepe?
Yeah, what does that mean?
I don't know what do it mean?
I don't know.
Oh.
Oh no, I was asking.
I thought you was about to school me on some shit. I'm like, all right, nigga, what you talking about? All right.
We need Smash Rockwell.
Yeah. Niggas who serious with this shit and don't be.
Yeah, you know what I mean. He know what that shit mean.
All right, so check it. Let me pull this up. You can see the screen? Oh, I'm showing.
Yeah. Go ahead. It was showing.
All right. Look,
Mm.
Kohath took to wife Merah, a devoted worshiper of Jehovah. Merah bore him a son, Amram, who took to wife Jochebed, sister-in-law to Kohath, and she bore him a son who was Moses.
Mm-hmm.
Hold up.
Mm-hmm.
Amram.
That's why they always try to tie in.
Amram, you got Amram,
Mm-hmm.
who took to wife Jochebed, sister-in-law to Kohath, who bore him a son. So Amram would be the father.
Of Moses.
Exactly. And Jochebed would be the mother.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so these two people are not associated with Amenemhet IV. Now, coming back to the article, right? Coming back to the article, this is Moses' mother. It says Heptepi had been previously married to another man. That Amenemhet IV came from this marriage. That will coincide with what the Oahspe is saying here with the parents of Moses, right here.
And this is why they keep calling her his stepbrother, but they also don't understand that it's not Pharaoh adopting the son. Well, Pharaoh did adopt the son, but it's his daughter's son.
Exactly.
Hence, since he set his heart on him, he made him the co-regent, the king regent. He loved Moses.
Exactly.
That's what they don't understand. There's two people in the Bible. There's two pharaohs.
Right.
It's actually three.
Because you got the Pharaoh that Moses was raised. See, that a lot of niggas think the Pharaoh that Moses was raised up under is the same Pharaoh that persecuted niggas.
It's different.
But look at his reign. Look at his reign. Because you know in the Oahspe it says he reigned like what, like 9 years or something like that. It says Amenemhet IV first came to power as junior co-regent, just like the Oahspe described. Predecessor Amenemhet III, who reigned marks the apex of the Middle Kingdom period. And keep in mind, we got in the Oahspe when his stepfather passed away. That's documented.
Yep.
So they got
Moses held him in his arms.
Exactly, until he passed away.
They don't understand Moses was easy a 8-foot nigga.
He was a giant. He
was a giant. Easily 8 foot. Probably more like 9 feet.
Right. Well attested by numerous monuments and artifacts where the names of the two kings parallel each other. The length of his co-regency is uncertain. It could have lasted from 1 to 7 years, although most scholars believe it was only 2 years long. The Turin canon, a king list redacted during the early Ramsey period, records Amenemhet IV on column 6, row 1, and accredit him with the reign of 9 years and 3 months, 27 days. Amenemhet IV is also recorded in entry 65 of the Abydos king list and entry 38 of the Saqqara tablets, both which date to the New Kingdom. So this even coincides with the Oahspe, where it says Moses was a co-regent, and then he had a short reign.
And it lines up with the biblical tale too, because he goes and rules for either 9 or 12 years per the biblical story where he goes and fights at the Balaam. And then also in the extra biblical text, he goes over there, the ex-king's wife, who the Balaam took over for, was trying to throw herself at Moses. He wouldn't take it. So they end up training these big ass egret birds to drop stuff over the wall because they couldn't defeat the people. So Moses ended up showing them how to do it. You dig what I'm talking about? And he fights a guy named Balaam. So does you know what I mean?
And look,
Moses, yeah.
Right. Now, here's Sobek Nephru. This will be Sobek Nephru in the text. Leonardo. And it came to pass that when Leotanis, the king's daughter, this would be Sobek Nephru when the king would be Amenemhet IV, the river, accompanied by her maids. She saw a child in a basket amongst the bulrus. Leotantis commanded her maids to fetch it to her. And when she looked upon it and saw it was an Israelitish child, she said, the gods have sent him to me, and he shall be my child.
Okay, hold on, bro.
Go ahead.
Hold on. Right there. Go back. It's saying,
Your ass over there chumping.
It's saying, when she looked upon it and saw it was an Israelite child. So whatever the difference between Latonus and Moses could readily be told physically,
right,
objectively. So I always thought that was interesting. How did she know if she was a black person too? How did she know instantly that this baby was an Israelite?
Right.
So it was something about the way the baby looked. Obviously, its skin. So my thing is, what if the difference is the same difference we see between modern Americans, Negro Americans, and modern Africans?
Well, check that.
Even though we look sort of similar, we know we're not the same.
Hey, read this verse. It's the killer right here, son.
Now, the truth of the matter was, the angels of Jehovah came to Jochebed and said,
that's Moses' mother now. This is Moses. Jochebed, right here. Let me hold up for a minute. Jochebed would be equivalent to Hetepi. This is Moses' mother. This is the fourth mother, according to the records. And it says, had previously married to another man, that Amenemhet the fourth came from this marriage. But this is Moses' mother referring to right here as Jochebed in the Oahspe. Now go ahead with that.
And said, your son's name shall be Moses, signifying a leader forth. For he shall deliver the Israelites out of bondage, but he shall be taken from you, and you will not find him. For the angels of Yahweh will deliver him unto Leotonus' hands.
Stop right there. Leotonus is Sobek Nephru. That'll be Sobek. So the angels are telling Moses' mother the plan of how this shit gonna take place. She can't even tell, like, nigga, this is my son. She got to keep that secret. Go ahead.
And she shall adopt him.
Case in point. Say what?
Right. This is why they always call her the stepson. She wasn't married.
Adopt him as her brother and son. What did you say about Amenemhet the fourth sister?
Yep. Okay. There was his stepsister.
Right. Exactly.
Or adopted sister and mother.
Exactly.
And remember, even in the story, they end up finding Moses' mother and saying, well, the baby got behind the wall because we had the nursing mother right here. You dig what I'm talking about? So that relented the word of Pharaoh. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because he was saying, look, you're gonna tell me how the hell this Israelite little baby got up in here. You dig what I'm talking about? How that baby get up in here? Somebody gonna say, okay, y'all ain't gonna say nothing. I'm gonna kill 1,000 niggas this week. I'm gonna kill 10 of them every day. Till somebody tell me where this baby came from. Right? And so they was about to kill Moses. And they came with the idea to bring Jochebed, the mother, in and make her the wet nurse. Right? But if you keep reading a little bit, it revealed that even that is a plan of the Most High. To have the mother there to actually love on Moses.
Exactly.
So he had a double portion of that love from his physical mama and his adopted mama.
Can you imagine how the mother must have to feel to like know like, yo, I want to tell you who my son became type shit? That's crazy.
Yo, could you imagine this nigga Moses cutting up? That nigga said, let my people go. He can't listen. He came in and showed out. They said they couldn't even, you couldn't even write a book.
Now look at this. I had the knowledge on this on one of the joints. Small obsidian coffer bound in gold and bearing a Amenhotep IV titulary from royal necropolis of Babylon. Now keep in mind, this is a model of the Ark of the Covenant right here. This is let me hold on. Let me show. Let me pull that up right quick. Let me pull that up real quick. Show you like we don't play games over here. We make the connections.
See, that's the dope part about Oahspe. It's not trying to point out the differences. It's trying to make the connections and point out the oneness, the symmetry, the harmony. You know what I mean? Because when you can see that, you can see creative.
Exactly. All right, that's all right, cool. What doc is that on? What doc is that on? Oh, okay. All right, the prototype of Canaan right here. Bam. All right. So check this. Right. Check this shit right here. Right here, we're gonna get to the Moses, right? Now look at this. Prototype of the Ark of the Covenant, right? It's the Ark of the Covenant, right? Remember what I just showed you, coming from the time of Amenhotep IV. Right? This is Moshe. This is the nigga who God came to the toll to design the Ark of the Covenant, but this is a chessboard. Right? And look. See the prototype? Well, watch this. They go the same thing, right? It says bound in golds, bearing Amenhotep IV's name. What is a coffer? A strong box or a small chest for holding valuables. Ain't that what the Ark of the Covenant is?
Sure is. Damn.
Proven right here that Amenhotep IV had a prototype of what we would classify as a chest box or valuable with the Ark of the Covenant with the rest of it. Now look at this. Look at this. The Ark of the Covenant, also known as the Ark of Testimony. The Ark of God is a legendary artifact believed to be the most sacred relic of the Israelites, which is described as a what? A wooden chest covered in pure gold. What did it say up here? What did it say? Covered coffer bound in gold, bearing Amenhotep IV, who we call Moses.
Damn.
What we talking about?
That's a good catch right there, bro. You gotta drop yourself a bomb on that one, bro. That's Cosmon level right there, bro. That's
you know what we do, bro.
That's dope. Hey, listen. That's dope, bro.
You know how we do, bro. You know. Now, what is an obsidian? A hard, dark, glass-like volcanic rock formed like a rapid solidification of lava without crystallization. This shit is volcanic rock, the material made for this shit, right?
Yeah, it's like glass, bro. It's like
that's it right there.
Yeah.
Now check this shit out. Check this shit out. But look at this. Look at these examples of what will be classified as the art, the style. The chessboard being carried. See that right there? You see it. You see it right here again. But look where you see it coming out of Egypt. It's Anubis.
Wow.
A prototype of Anubis. Treasure of Tutankhamun. Expedition in Paris 2012. Portable shrine with the Anubis figurine. Where the Anubis figurine would be is where the two winged angels would be arched. Like you see how Anubis is sitting right there? That's the equivalent of
the angels touch.
Exactly. Case in point. Case in point right there.
And
right there.
If you go back and look at what's behind the dog, right? And what the dog sitting on, Oahspe revealed that the ark is a portable temple.
Case in point. Case in point.
And
here goes some of the Egyptian relics of carrying the chest.
The litter. In America, they call this a litter. All the ancients did this, the Mayans, the Indians, and they do it. Not only did they do it like this, but they do it during your death.
Right.
This is where the whole idea of being carried by six come from.
Right. No,
You dig what I'm talking about?
They still doing some research on this, but check this: ancient Egyptian retainer sacrifice. And the ancient Egyptian retainer sacrifice is a type of human sacrifice in which pharaohs and occasionally other high court nobility would have servants killed after the pharaoh's death to continue to serve them in the afterlife. In Egypt, retainer sacrifice only existed during the first dynasty from about 3100 BC to 2900 BC, slowly dwindling and eventually dying out. So this, according to this would have existed during the time of Narmer.
Yeah, that would have actually existed during the time of like Horus Aha and Scorpion 1 and 2.
Exactly. And here you had a prototype of the Egyptians carrying the chessboard, and you see the Jews right here doing the same shit. But we have evidence that Amenhotep IV created the chessboard, which in return, this prototype right here, all you got to do is put some goddamn sticks behind it, have niggas carry that, and then you got a model. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, son.
Dang, bro.
Easy work.
Hey, man, that was, listen, that's fine. Hey, listen, I can't hate. I've been on Oahspe all this time, never caught that.
Hey, you know, that's how we like to play. We be like, all right, oh, you came with that? All right, I got you.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm gonna match you with that one, nigga.
Hey, bro, man.
You know what? Yo, let me tell you something. Damn, I should have downloaded it. Yo, let me tell the people something, yo. This nigga Cosman, y'all may sleep on this dude, but this nigga special. This nigga prophesized that a pandemic was coming, which was the COVID, and he got evidence and tech screens from before COVID, from 2019, talking about it, 2020 when it happened, and how long it was gonna come. This nigga Cosman prophesied that. Nigga, you go when you next time you go live, or next time I have you on here, I want you to show. A matter of fact, send me them pictures, and I'm gonna download it. And next time I go live, I'm gonna show the date, and I'm gonna show when COVID started and when you said it, how you basically brought that shit to fruition, based off the timetables of prophecy, my niggas.
Yeah.
Talk to him.
Yeah, definitely. You dig what I'm talking about? There's a lot going on in Oahspe. And the brother Malachi brought up the idea that for all the faithers, we do some private teaching classes on time. You know what I mean? Because everything ain't for everybody. Flat out. It's just some things that I'm just not gonna teach people. I'm not gonna be accountable for niggas using it, taking the shit and using it in a fucked up way. Cause then it's on me. Especially if I know better than to give it to your dumb. Why would I give a child a pistol?
Right, facts.
You see what I'm saying? So that's what it come down to. So a lot of people think it would make so the faith is no, I'm not holding nothing back. I'm gonna teach all y'all.
You already know.
You dig what I'm talking about? Everybody gonna know. So when
that said you came, what's that shit with the crumbs? He said with the Samaritan woman, like this shit for the what the shit the nigga talking about feeding the crumbs? And she know that verse when Jesus talking about the motherfucking this shit for the pearls and not the crumbs or some shit. I forget how to shit. They're like, yo, y'all niggas ain't gonna get everything. Even Daniel was told to seal up the scrolls until the end time.
Yeah.
He wasn't given everything. Even Ezra was told to release some of these books and hold back some for the wise. So everybody ain't supposed to get this revelation.
No,
it's for them, but they deny it.
Yeah, you gotta come get this. You got to want it. You know what I mean?
And you being biased towards us with it, it's like that shit don't. Our numbers is growing over here.
Yeah, we good. We're not asking for you to come over here. We just saying get aware get aware that you've been serving a false god your whole life.
It's another nigga on the block making noise. That's what we say.
Yeah, and
the same way when matter of fact, let me pull up that. Matter of fact, when the disciples came to Jesus and was like, "Yo, we seen a nigga casting out devils in your name, and we stopped him." And Jesus was like, "Nah, don't stop the nigga. If you know the Father, who was with us, is not against us." So what is that telling you right there?
Mm-hmm.
You ain't got to be with this foe to goddamn do the work of the Creator.
No. Mm-mm.
Dig? Yo, give us a one in the chat if y'all getting this understanding, family. We got Cosmo and Cal holding it down for 3 hours with the God. You know what I'm saying?
You know what it is, man. I got the man. My brother Mally came up here yesterday, boy. Hey, I love that nigga, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. It's certain cats, you dig what I'm talking about. You just get a kind of affinity for.
Yeah, man.
You dig what I'm talking about? And the brother Malachi is special, man. He really is. I see why it's seen as a big loss to the Israelite community when Mally came over here. First of all, man, we ain't take nobody. We ain't kidnapped that grown man.
Right, facts.
You dig what I'm talking about?
The nigga Mally seen the higher light. The just kicked in with the God. Because see, if you on a quest for truth, you ain't gonna stop learning. You ain't gonna stop, looking for knowledge. So when he came across the channel, he realized, like, damn, okay, this shit right here is some different shit. Let me investigate it.
Mm-hmm.
When he did his own research and read the whole book, he came to the conclusion that this is a higher light for our people, for all people.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So when he, like you said, when he came over, meaning to say that he's rocking with the Creator now, meaning to say we're not taking nobody. We're bringing people back to the Creator. That's it.
And emancipating them, freeing them, giving them liberty, and then throwing them in an organization to help them get whatever it is they want good done.
And the organization requires the service done to others in righteousness. Ain't in your hand.
Come on, man.
Our leader is the Creator. And the Creator say, yo, go serve your brothers and sisters in righteousness. Don't kill.
I like how Elijah told them niggas. Elijah told Ahab said, man, what better is your Lord and God than my Lord and God? That nigga said, nigga. I ain't talking about Lord and God, Buster. I'm talking about Yahweh, the Most High, the Creator, the Great Spirit, EOI. You dig what I'm talking about? That's who I'm talking about. We talking about two different things.
And see, the Bible, you can never get that. Because in the Bible, you got Baal talking about his Lord, and then you got Elijah talking about his Lord, and got you thinking like, okay, one is true and one is false, but it's all Lord. There's no real distinguishing that one is saying like, nah, nigga, one is the all source, the Creator, not in the image of a man. And one nigga saying, nah, I follow the nigga that's looking like a man. So when
looking like a man,
them niggas
all right, looking like a man.
Niggas out here worshiping men, yo.
Looking like a man.
You stupid. We got Bazell in the building. What up, Bazell? Hey, nigga, I may head up the Goodfellas, my nigga. I may take that night. Right?
Hey, Bazell, man, if you can jump in real quick, bro.
Hop in for a minute, Bazell, if you good. Let me send a link. Peace. Bazell out here with me and shit. You know that, right?
Oh yeah.
I'm in the pizza shop. This nigga Bazell like, yo, see, I'm like, the fuck? Fuck you doing? And it was like 2 or 3 in the morning. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is you doing out here? Couldn't find out he out here. So I'm like, yo, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. When I seen you and Mally come together, man, that shit was so touching right there. Like, yo, them niggas linked up, bro.
Yeah, that's my dog, man.
Hard, Joe. That shit was
solid, man. I just like solid dudes, man. You dig what I'm talking about? It don't take that much. You dig what I'm talking about? It ain't hard to tell. The real recognize the real.
Namaya, what's how you say it?
Namaya, yeah.
Yeah. Even when I seen the garden we was talking, I was like, man, like these some
solid,
man. Solid, man. And see, that's dangerous because it's like, yo, I bust my gun for these niggas. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm on that type of time with the love. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, I can't let nothing happen to no niggas like that.
And I gotta shout out my brother IBL too, man. He was down here at St. Nazarene too, and he's sharp. He's sharp. Oh, Bezel,
bro.
Bezel.
Peace, Bezel. What's good, fam? Peace to the God.
Good, family? What's good,
How
family?
you,
Bezel.
I'm goody, man. I'm goody.
Talk to me.
What's good, boy? Hey,
what you think about the debate?
Oh man, you know, first off, you know what I'm saying, you did an excellent job. You know what I mean, you won that hands down, the whole thing, 3-0. You know what I'm saying? Stayed on topic the whole time.
Exactly.
Stayed on topic the whole time. Yeah.
Right.
You know, I was gonna tell you, did you peep in the first round when Zion he was reading that 7-day creation story, and then at the bottom when he got to on the 7th day it says rest, but instead of rest he gonna say the word ceased. And you know why too? You know why he did that too?
yeah.
Right. Because he had to cover his fucking his tracks. And you
Exactly.
cut that nigga. That's where it started, when it all started. When he asked that question, and he said he was so high on going cease, you know, to cease. And then when he pulled up the Hebrew, it says things cease, and that shit said to rest. You was like, look, it said right there. There it is right there.
Yeah.
That's where it all started, bro.
And see, he got mad at me. That shit was Bezel. And he got snuck in the crowd. He thought it was me. He ain't know who punched him.
Mm-hmm.
You dig what I'm talking about?
Facts. And then like when he was reading that, like, cause my phone is like crap.
Hey, Bezel, did you record the
debate?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I had recorded it, but I don't know what happened. Like when I went back to it, like the whole thing is recorded, but the sound is not on there, bro. Like I don't know if Assad did that shit on purpose or the Zoom, but the sound not on there. Yeah, it's no sound.
I ain't never really used the Zoom, so I ain't familiar with it. But I
Hey,
did like a record. But
C-Lock, you gotta call Sonetta, man. Call Sonetta. Tell him to send that link again, man. Because we got the link.
He gonna release it. You know how he do. He'll let this shit sit for a minute, then he'll release it like a couple of days after, probably a week after. He gonna release it. As soon as he releases it, we just copy the link and put up on it. You know, Mally gonna do the slowdown, and that's gonna kill everything right there.
That shit was crazy. You know, bro. You won on them polls without not one creator gang person voting.
Yeah, he thought that was
Didn't none of us vote on that poll. We didn't see that. We don't even know where that is.
Yeah, he said
I
that
didn't even know there was a poll.
That
What'd you say, Mazel?
Yeah, Saad was saying that was all us. That was your people in the polls. I'm like, man, stop it. Man.
Because I ain't know. The only people I seen was Saad, Lex, and Nepal and somebody else. That's all I seen was that. I ain't see nobody else. Like I don't know how the setup is. Like shit. We see who in the chat and all that. But that was the first time really using Zoom like that.
That was the crowd, fam. That was the
audience. I didn't see none of that. I don't see where they was typing. I didn't see none of that shit. You dig what I'm talking about? But I know didn't no creator gang see that or vote on it or was even in the chat.
Nah.
Yeah, because a couple other cats said they was gonna get the tickets, but shit, when you never know who be in the background person watching. Because when he told me that, I was like, I don't know who, you know what I mean? Because that could have been his people coming in. He got some.
But I'm saying
too, but
my thing is, did it record it? Because we still got the link.
I don't know, bro. I don't even fuck with Zoom like that. Ever since I got off that shit, I ain't go back to Zoom or try to figure it out. I just left that shit alone. I'm gonna just wait till he put it up because I know how you do. He gonna put it up after a while. Build up the anticipation some more. It's all in the promotions.
Yeah, probably like 2 weeks.
Yeah, probably like 2 weeks and shit. Cause see, the first, the nigga tried to clown because the first 2 minutes, instead of me being like, yeah, well, you know what I'm gonna do with the Oahspe nigga, I just started going in.
Yeah,
I had so much information, and it was set up with me and Cesaria to go 15-minute rounds. So when we got on, he was like, yeah, it's 10-minute round. So I ain't stopping, but but after those 15, or I just went with the flow and shit. You know what I mean? But yeah, like for something like Oahspe for this scale, this shit got to be like presentation based. Like when you look at some of them college debates with religion in them, like in them college dorms, and they had they debates. The niggas may go a whole hour for their round, and the next nigga may go a whole hour for their round, and then they'll, you know what I mean, pick each other apart from there. But you got to have time to lay out the premise. It can't be rushing because, and I made it make sense even with the rushing. I'm speed reading, and I'm still making it make sense. But when now to slow it down, even with me speed reading, it's still gonna be like, damn, this nigga crushed it. He compressed all that information within 10 minutes.
Yeah, that was phenomenal, bro.
Bro.
And that second round, oh man.
The second round, that did it. After that, I knew that second round was gonna kill everything. That basically decapitated your God, what your God stand for. That's why I put null and void. Because God made the laws null and void. That shit don't got no binding every power because you ain't following it. What'd you say, King?
Right. You know, I was saying like you exposed so much, man. Like you exposed so much, man.
Yeah.
And all that shit went over their heads. That's the thing. That's the sad part about it. Like,
yeah, they ain't catch nothing. I exposed that God is an angel with their book and showed how Oahspe said gods are angels, but not the creator. They overlook and see those are the most valuable and important things because this is who you're supposed to go see after you die. This is supposed to be the nigga you're supposed to be going in their kingdom after you die. But you don't know there's deceptive motherfucking deities out here that have been hoodwinking niggas for thousands of years, and Oahspe is exposing it, breaking the mental shacks, and they want to know why Oahspe is on the rise because it's mental shacks of motherfucking slavery, but of the false gods narrative. You've been enslaved to false gods longer than the fucking white man.
Fact. Hey, Dig, this how you know. This how you know that second round cut. That second round was cutting because he totally lost his composure.
Yo, you peeped that?
He start cussing. I never seen Zion legs. Lion ass Zion. Never seen that lion ass nigga cuss that much. You dig what I'm talking about? Never seen him lose his cool, hollering and screaming. And you dig what I'm talking about? He totally was out of his character. His God was getting punched, though.
Because I started off that round showing black on black crime delegated by God. First, showing that the 12 tribes, the forefathers of the 12 tribes, meaning the brothers, showing how they had harbored hatred for Jacob. The same way the European hated niggas is the same way, Joseph. It's the same way the brothers was hating on Joseph. Judah inquired selling him to the Ishmaelites. That's slave trading at its basic premise, at its basic principle. That's slave trading.
Fact.
You to sell these niggas over here to your own brother. It ain't like he found the Edomite and did that too. A white man. You did that to your own brother, your flesh and blood brother, the same mother and father brother, or the same father brother. You did that too. And then after that, I showed an American black man, Anthony Johnson, who went to court and permanently owned a slave, and they let the shit go down. They allowed blacks to own their own race of slaves in the Americas. So I showed you niggas with that plantation mentality with Joseph's brothers, and I showed you niggas with that plantation mentality right here in present time. How the fuck y'all niggas talking about this nigga winning? Whoever think he won. And then I showed how diabolical in nature your God was in the promised land. Your God said, don't spill blood, for blood defileth the land.
Right.
But then he turns around and got 45,000 niggas blood in 3 days. You know how many? That's a river flowing with blood. Who gonna collect 18,000 bodies in a day and bury them niggas? See, niggas ain't thinking. Niggas just go. This shit just going. You got the first day it was 2,020 men died. Who the fuck buried them niggas?
Yeah, that's what I said, bro.
Who the fuck buried them niggas? So the next day in battle, you looking at the dead niggas on the ground because they battling in the same Gabi in the same area. So the second day of battle, 18,000 niggas dead. Who burying them niggas? And then the next day, 25,000 niggas died by the Lord himself. This nigga came down and started throwing lightning bolts at niggas and killed 25,000 niggas of the tribe of Benjamin. So if Benjamin is supposed to be worshiping this God, How do they feel? What type of shit y'all got going on? Where Benjamin at the first 2 days is being victorious in battle, but the very God who Benjamin's supposed to be worshiping, God is going against.
Right.
He's going against himself.
He's going against himself. He's going against his own chosen people. That's why I said null and void. You ain't got no ordinary power, nigga. Your shit is flaky, nigga. You a double-minded nigga. That's like me coming to you, Cal, and Bazell saying like, y'all, man, I found this new doctrine, thou shalt not murder and kill. And then the next day I'm like, yo, let's go ride and slide on these niggas. that makes thou shalt not kill null and void. It has no binding every power now because I done broke. It's fair game. I done broke the law. So how can I follow a God and his commandments when he doesn't? Thou shalt not covet what's another's. Y'all niggas stole the land of Israel. Y'all took the land of Canaan. Y'all took their shit. That's a law broken. Thou shalt not murder. That's a law broken. Come on, man.
But the God breaking the law, though.
That's what I'm saying. That makes the God's law null and void, meaning that
null and void.
That means that your God laws don't stand. That shit has no merit. If I say I stop smoking weed today, and then tomorrow you see me doing this, you gonna say that nigga still out bullshit. That nigga said he stopped smoking weed, but he gonna come back the next day smoking weed. That nigga bullshit. That's the equivalent of the actions of your God. Your God over here bullshit. He telling niggas don't murder and kill. Then he go tell you to kill infants. Then he go tell you to kill your own chosen people. He tell you to kill off the Amaleks, which is the enemies, and then he turns around and tell you to kill off his own people. And y'all ain't questioning this God.
Right.
Didn't John 4:1 say test the spirit, even if it's of God? In your own Bible, it say that. These niggas weak, bro.
It's sad, man.
Yeah, Bazell. That's you know what I mean? Simple questions, man. Niggas get cut with simple shit. And then he tried to use and say, like, well, I know God don't cease, he keeps creating. No. You gotta explain to me how an angel keeps creating. Oahspe says, like, yo, vortexy and current is how worlds are created. So being that the creator is ever present, he can start a vortice right here. He can start one over here in the galaxy just by motion. But if I'm the deity floating in space, this is me, the deity, I gotta be over here creating. Nigga, it's fuckery. It shit don't have no cosmological order. It don't line up with cosmogony at all.
And even if you is looking for the vortex, and that's what you see, right? The sign of the creator is motion.
That's the vortex, literally.
Right. That's how it moves. But he is motion in and of itself.
Exactly.
That's the word. You dig what I'm saying? That so-called word they always talking about in the beginning.
That's what. Let me pull it up right here. Look at that. What did I say? I am the ever-present. But let me go to the definition of ever-present, right? Ever-present. What does that mean? Something that is always there. Something that is always there. Doesn't that fit this right here? This concept of space-time continuum?
Right.
You can't put a motherfucking beginning on this shit right here. You can't say, oh, this star right here is where it started. No. Oh, they go to Big Bang right here. Nah, nigga, this shit is infinite. No beginning and no ending. And each light is a galaxy, which is a vortex started to create. So when the creator decides to create, bam, he over here with it. He over here with it. He's ever present. He can create wherever he wants. But that's like a man standing right here creating all this. Boop, 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 boop. This ain't Pac-Man.
Where's Waldo?
Yeah, where's Waldo ass fucking concept? And this concept of the now these spiraling galaxies moving through the cosmos, through the ever present, is this same thing. And what do you see? Spiraling vortices in the central sun. What did it say? I created the vortex first to conceive the corporeal world. In every one of these pictures, you see the vortex. Your Bible can't explain this. Show me in the Bible where it gives an explanation of why these galaxies are spiral. Nigga, you can't do that. But guess what? We can. Look at this example. What is a vortex? In fluid dynamics, nigga, we talking science. A vortex is a region in a fluid which the flow revolves around an axial line, which may be straight or curved. Look at these examples of vortexia. This is a literal example of a vortex. This is an atom, helium atom cell. You see the same spiral in the central. And then here you have the galaxy, the solar system, the sun, and the subjected planets to it. One system, one order of creation. Nigga, your Bible can't show you this. And this is the force and power to create.
Yep.
See what I'm saying? This is the force and power to create. Power of rotation, swift driving at the peripheral. So when the creator want to create, swift driving at the peripheral, he starts the vortex. And then it spirals into the center. Ain't no man standing at the edge doing this. Ain't no angel standing right here where power is generated to start this. And the proof of that is in the hurricane. When the hurricane is generating power, ain't no nigga standing right here blowing his breath. It's generated by the wind currents. And these wind currents flow in circles. But the place of the way it's generating power is on these outskirts. This is where the power of generation, the power of force comes in at. And you see that right here. From the out coming in. And look at the center, look at the force in the center. It's condensed, it's packed.
Yeah.
See that? What did Jehovah say? As you see the power of the whirlwind gathering up dust of the earth and driving it together. See that? This is objective. Your Bible ain't talking like this. This is the fundamental principles of creation described in nature. As above, so below. Right? As above, so below. So what do you see here? What Jaja say? That part of it. No, likewise, I bring the Jaya, the Aja, and the Nebula in the firmament of heaven by the power of the whirlwind. I created the corporeal sun, moon, and stars. The Creator is saying that the same force and power that you see in nature is the same force and power that creates galaxies and worlds. And you see the same vortex and the same spiral objectively. We ain't got to make you believe this shit. We showing it to you. This is not a belief factor. This is a knowing factor. Cosman always say that. I don't believe shit. I know it. We showing you. We know it. And your Bible can't show me in the Bible where how this is created, this galaxy, in real time. Can't do it.
Crickets.
Now this is the creation of galaxies through vortexia, because the definition of cosmogony right here is what? The branch of science that deals with the origin of the universe. So what we just read was the origin of the universe through vortexian current, how galaxies are created. And then it says, especially for the solar system. So we have a basis premise of how vortexian creates galaxies. And then we have a more direct to our planet premise of the creation of our sun. To make the sun, I created a great vortex, and within this vortex and subject to it, I made the vortices of many of the corporeal worlds. And this is an example of that right here. A central sun, and the planets are subjected to it. So Oahspe is letting you know that the sun comes first, then the planets, which would make more sense to support vegetation, because plants have to have a solar energy to support vegetation. So the Oahspe is letting you know right here that it said, to make the sun, I created a great vortex, and within this vortex and subject to it, within this vortex and subject to it, which are the planets. What does it state? I made vortices of many of the corporeal worlds. The sun vortex I caused to rotate, and I gave it power to carry other vortices within it. There's the objective example right there. Now, if niggas want to be like, oh, that's CGI, whatever, nigga, we can go back to the atom cell right here. And we see the same system with the atom cell or with the principles of vortexia. See, you can't escape this shit because the Creator is showing you objective truth that can be proven in real time. We ain't believing this shit. Nigga, we showing you how this shit works.
Yeah.
And then the dope shit, when Jaja said, the sun I made as the head of a serpent, and his Felix I made as the body of a serpent. Thus I made the great corporeal serpent. Now, the motion of a serpent, you see right here, what you're really seeing is the flow of vortex here. These are frequency waves. This is how frequency waves are moved. When you look at frequencies, they move in this manner like a wave. And that's why they use the serpent or the snake because of its motion. Now, why they use the solar system is because the sun is the head, meaning that comes first, and the planet is like the tail. The planet is like the body, and the motion of the sun moves as the serpent. Let's show that, because I showed this in the debate. Why does Oahspe reference the solar system? The gray serpent is because of its motion. These are 12 stunning pictures of the sun clicked over 12 months at the same place. Goes viral. Now look at the center right here. This is a house in the center. So you see it's the same place throughout the year. But look at the sun. This is 12 months. You see the motion of the sun? You see how it's winding? This is 1 year. But then when we go to 2 years, look how it winds. Look how it winds. Look at this. See that? See the wave frequency? This is the motion of the sun in 2 years. So if I put 3 and 4 years, you're going to see the wind that you see right here of the great serpent. See, the Oahspe is letting you know that this is a cosmological understanding when it's referencing the great serpent, not a nigga in the garden talking to Eve. See, Oahspe is high cosmological science. That's another reason why these niggas can't comprehend this shit. Because this is creator. This ain't a God. This ain't God knowledge. This creator knowledge, because we're dealing with it objectively.
Facts.
See what I'm saying? This is 24 months. It's 2 years, and you see the wave frequency line. You see the wave, right? Now look at the orbit of the sun. Look at it say, motion of the earth and sun around the Milky Way. Look at the wave. See the wave? The path of the sun around Milky Way. And look at the wobble. Look at the wave, right? Now watch this. This is a mechanic waves, and these are light waves. That we ain't making shit up. We objectively proven from the book how this is way better than any Bible.
It's in its own league.
In its own league. And then you got the serpent showing you the same flow of energy.
And then you can look up in the sky, and based off where the sun is on certain days at its rising and setting, you can literally track it moving like a serpent in the sky. They call this understanding the Ankh. They call this, it's a sole scientific understanding. In the Americas, this understanding is called the Khan. This is why it's always dealing with the snake, because it's an understanding. It's a cosmological understanding.
Exactly. So when it talks about the great serpent, that old dragon, the beast, it's a cosmological concept of the motion of the sun, but the false gods got you thinking some dragon about to be walking the earth and blowing his breath and fire on niggas. That's how damage these false gods have done. They took the ark of Noah and made that nigga into a man with 3 mythical sons. That's how much damage these false gods have done. And now the truth has come. Now it seems strange. The same truth Yahshua spoke in his day seems strange to them niggas.
Right.
This shit,
They
2 years, and look at the sun, yo. Look at that.
Man.
Keep in mind, now do the knowledge. Do the knowledge. It's 3 months to each season. So let's say this is spring. This is spring. First month, second month of spring. 4, 5, 6, that's summer. 7, 8, 9, that's fall. 10, 11, 12, that's winter. And then it starts right where it started again.
Yeah. Dang.
And I knew this shit for years. Anyway, when I was tracking the moon cycles, I peeped these patterns because the moon do the same thing. It moves from right to left in the sky. When spring comes, you'll see the sun. It'll rise from the northeast, and then in the winter it'll rise from the northwest. The same way, like in the spring, like say this is the first month of spring, and the sun rise here. By the time summer come, you're gonna notice the horizon, the island. Like, let's do it like this. You see the house right here? So if this is spring, right, the sun is gonna be rising over here. But by the time 1, 2, 3, the peak of summer, you notice the sun is rising on the opposite side of the house.
Right.
So it's showing you its motion, right?
Well,
I figured out all this shit when I was tracking the moon cycles.
yeah, and Oahspe, you know, reveals there's 4 ways that the earth moves.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So y'all get into that cosmogony and prophecy.
Yeah, and see the color spectrum, this is visible light. Everything is color coded. So when you look at the sun, let me show you something. When you look at the sun, right? Put a sunrise. Watch this. Sunrise, right?
The electromagnetic ray was moving like the sun.
That's what I'm about to show you. Exactly. Case in point. Look at the sun at sunrise.
Mm-hmm.
Orange and it's orange, it's reddish. Look at the electromagnetic spectrum. What is that telling you? The wave frequency is expressing this range. Let me see if I can follow with the ranges on it, with the actual range on it, so we could actually pinpoint the actual measure of the wave that the sun is emitting when it's in that vortex.
Yeah, it's definitely red. Because when you look in the sky, it'd be pink and red, and you know what I mean.
There we go. I'm looking the one for exactly. I'm looking for the one when I got the number.
It's more 400 nanometer.
Right.
It's more closer to 400 nanometers. Right. The higher color.
There you go. It's right here. All right, so check it. So the sun, actually, it's the opposite. It's 700 nanometers that the sun is emitting when it's at, where is that? Right here. When it's at eve. When it's at sunset and sunrise, the sun is right here. So on visible light, the light spectrum is emitting 700 nanometer in that range when you're seeing the sun at sunrise and sunset. But notice when the sun is in high noon, let's go to the sun in high noon. Watch this. Sun at noon. You see the difference? You see the difference when the sun is in high noon compared to when it's at evening?
Mm-hmm.
You see that color right there? What's that on the spectrum? 600 nanometers. The vibrational frequency of the vortex speeds up at high noon. It's faster, and that's why the sun is emitting like a bright star, because the nanometers is reading faster than it is at sunset. At sunset, the wave frequency is red. Those are long wave frequencies.
Yeah, they're longer. Yeah.
That's why the sun appear to be so big when it's rising and setting, is because the wave frequency are longer. So it looks like a magnifying glass. And then when you get to 600 nanometers, that's when it looks like a brilliant star based off the speed of visible light. And that's based off the vortex. So the vortex is basically showing you that the longer wavelengths of vortexia is at the sunrise and sunset. The high frequency of vortexia is high noon. That's why a lot of times you pray at high noon, because the communications with the angels a lot of times deal with vibrational frequency as well.
Yeah.
The angels deal with more higher, like the angels of the Most High, or the righteous angels or the pure angels, they'll be vibrating on a frequency outside of visit, like drop to 300 to 200 nanometer. They up in the gamma ray frequencies because they spirit is pulsating at a faster nanometer. But a drudge spirit, a spirit that is lingering, they will fall within a range of infrared and radio frequency. And if you notice a lot of movies like Poltergeist, the TV was an entrapment for the spirit, and that's a radio wave. Low vibration frequencies, low vibrational angels that vibrate low are found in the radio waves and the infrared frequencies. If you look at some of these movies where they be trying to find ghosts and shit like that, they'll use the infrared frequency. They use the infrared frequency right outside. Yeah. That's the closest. Infrared is the frequency right outside of visible light, and that's what they try to use to detect spirit.
And they use this, the crazy part, Sheila. It's crazy that you brought this up, because they use EMFs, which are electromagnetic frequency finders.
And that's also extra low frequency too.
Yep. ELF. Yep.
Yeah, extra low frequency. Because some of the
Elf waves.
right, and you know, extra low frequencies. Those are the frequencies that they say they use with like with the heart machine and shit like that to create earthquakes and shit like that. Extra low frequency is for those that's that bottom. That's even with music. Extra low frequency is the bass range.
Yeah.
Get that bass going.
Yeah, I had it backwards. It was 700.
No, I
the
be
fast
like that sometimes. Yeah. So
yeah.
But we know though. So if we're talking about angels and spirits, we talking about existing outside of 700 nanometers or 800 nanometers. When I showed that picture of the ancestor, she probably would have been existing like at 750 nanometers, just enough for us to see us, but still enough to see through her.
Mm-hmm. But I think the part that people missing is the spirit is still physical.
You see, and you know what? Case in point, Joe. Case in point. Because Oahspe described the physical and spiritual as basically one and the same, just at two different vibrational frequencies and a greater expand. Like the spirit is more expandable.
Yeah, one can be seen and one can't.
Right.
That's
and
the
reason we can't see it is because of those vibrational frequencies outside of visible light. You know what I'm saying?
Outside of visible light. Facts.
You may have a goddamn a plane, a grassy plane that may be goddamn 150 miles, and that's just a park in the atmosphere.
Right.
That's how fast atmospheric worlds are.
Yeah, that ain't even nothing. They got ships bigger than that.
That's why I say, hey, these niggas better get hit with the vastness that Oahspe has to offer, because when it describes ships and them chariots floating through the cosmos, if one of the motherfuckers was to park up next to the moon like how Oahspe described, when them niggas park up by the CVAC, the Shinvat.
What?
If niggas,
them niggas gonna be jumping out of windows trying to get.
Now think about it. Oahspe talks about how these niggas docked the ship right by Shinvat, a couple of joints away from the moon. Now, if that was to happen in real time now, we will see that. We will see that.
Yeah, definitely. And it's gonna be massive. And then it's gonna start. And then remember, they said they start coming down to the earth fast on purpose. So it's looking like a comet about to smack into the planet. And imagine that thing just stop.
And then they tumbling at a 45-degree angle on the ass and just spinning. Come on, yo. If you was to look up, because you see the moon is close as a motherfucker if you really think about it. When you look at all the cosmological shit in the cosmos, the moon is right there. So if these niggas talking about docking they ship, they spaceship a couple of fucking yards away from the moon type shit, you're going to be beholden. And then keep in mind, watch me say sometimes they'll just sit there. They'll spin with the earth for 3 days so they could put fear in niggas to let them know that a higher power is here.
Yeah, make them look up.
Make them look up. If you were, you know what? 2 things that'll have niggas bugged out. That's one of them. And if the fucking moon wants to start spinning, my nigga, that shit'll be crazy.
The moon
wants to start spinning.
That mean that vortex touch back on that planet. That'll be a doozy. That mean we'll be able to watch the regeneration of the sea moon age. We'll see the sea moon age all over again. It'll be summer. It'll be spring.
Right, facts.
Hey, if that happened, bro, I'll lose it.
Or even if the process began, but like if you was to look up and see that fucking moon start spinning, yo, I think everybody go crazy. Scientists losing their mind.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. They wouldn't know what the hell to do.
Yeah, yo,
you dig what I'm talking about? It start rotating on its axis again. Oh man,
that shit'll be spooked out to look, yo, to see that shit,
bro.
That planet right now.
Listen, these boys come down, crack the sky on them real quick, bro. They gonna be killing themselves.
Exactly.
You dig what I'm talking about? That I didn't understand that verse for a long time when in the Bible where they said that people was asking the mountains to fall on them. The mountain was like, that ain't nah. I ain't got nothing to do with this. You take that up with God. You dig what I'm talking about?
Yeah, for some
You know
niggas,
what I mean?
for niggas to run into some mountains and ask the mountains to fall on them. Come on,
Yeah,
them
yeah.
shit.
Money just in piles laying in the street and all this. That's crazy. I didn't get it. You know what I mean? But now I really peep what's going on. They would be terrified.
Yeah, they gonna be terrified, yo.
What if the Irons come back?
You remember when Santantes came to visit niggas? Niggas
Yeah.
ran to the mother, niggas got the hell on. They said the fear, they had to make the ships invisible to calm down the fear of earthly mortals. I was like, damn.
Yeah. They ain't know what the hell was going on.
Yeah. And this primitive motherfuckers, this is the gather hunter niggas. They don't even got no concept of science and shit like that yet. Some flying saucer type shit. That's wild. Yeah, man.
Well, I'm gonna get on up off of here, bro.
Yeah, it was a good vibe, man. This was an excellent build,
Good
man.
vibes all the time.
Yeah.
We don't never even stay on Earth most of the time we talk, bro. We
always in the cosmos, man. That's what
we in the cosmos, man.
So it's like we in high school and we talking about college work because we about to go to college.
Yeah.
This is a perspective for these niggas so they'll know that we just ain't spooked out. No, nigga, we got a schooling system here. We follow a system in order, and it's ascension and resurrection. Now, no goddamn New Jerusalem coming back down to the earth for you to be surrounded with whoremongers and murderers after the first heaven and the first earth passed away. That's what's going on in the new heaven and the new earth. Nah, dog, you can keep that.
Yeah, I'm straight on that, cuz I didn't have my fill of whoremongers and dogs.
Facts, big facts, yo. But shit, we gonna chop it up, man. I'm gonna goddamn, we gonna be in the Critter Gang chat anyway. Niggas be up all night chopping it up.
Hell yeah.
And the shit.
All right, my baby. Hey, look, y'all.
Bazell said his phone died and shit, so he chopped off. So it's all good, King. So we gonna get it popping, King.
Hey, y'all go over to Cosmon Cal TV, sub, like, share, honor, and humility. Y'all hit that like button for my brother Sela Shalom, man. It's free, y'all. Hey, y'all breathe in, let the light in, man. I'm Cosmon. I'm out.
Like that. Peace, God.
Peace.
Yeah, yo. So we got the Cosmonian, you know what I mean? This was an excellent build tonight. We got it in. So, we ain't stuck on nothing over here, man. We got so much information to ponder and deal with. It's beautiful. Objective knowledge and information. And your boy Sela Shalom about to chime out, family. Let's run the rhythm. Give me your one in the chat if y'all was feeling these vibes tonight. You know what I mean? Run some music, yeah. 126. Been on 3 hours, 4 hours. Oh, less. We out here, family. Run it from the top, You know how we do. David Long, I see you. Peace, beloved. Peace to the family. We out of here.